I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Friday, as Carmichael Dave gets kicked out of the studio. Didn't want to leave, but that's because we're going to have such a great time today as we take you up to 2 p.m. And next up after us is the Drive Guys. As always, you have our guy, Nate Littlefield, back behind the glass for us today. 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Phone lines open all day because we're feeling good on a Friday. It's a payday Friday for somebody. So go out there and treat yourself.
That's right.
If you so choose. And it's also going to be outstanding weather. Finally. A Saturday with no rain.
Yeah.
Tried to get a tee time yesterday, all locked up already, but that's okay. There will be plenty of time. Oh, according to you Sacramentans, it's going to be too hot to golf in this summer. It's going to be too hot.
Crazy,
it's going to be too hot to golf.
Is nuts.
Oh, my goodness. As we hope it is hot in Golden 1 tomorrow night when the Kings take on the Knicks. Chris Watkins, how's it going, my guy?
I'm great. Like you said, the weather's getting good. There's a chance I might go outside this weekend. Love that.
Hey, he's back outside.
Yo, look out. Back outside, boys.
Back outside, boys.
Okay. So, feeling great, headed towards the weekend. I almost forgot it was Friday this morning, and that's always great when you realize when you wake up like, oh yeah, I don't have to, I can sleep in tomorrow. So feeling good.
That's the opposite of when you think it's Thursday and it's only Wednesday.
That's the worst.
Which normally happens once a week.
Yeah.
Once a week things are off as we get you ready for Kings Knicks tomorrow. As I said, I will be in the building as a fan. I'll still stop by and say what's up to you and the rest of the crew, Brendan and Frankie and everybody else, but I will.
In a bad way, it gets really quiet when you're not there. Not like in a man, Alan's. I mean, you're not quiet, but at the same time, it's just like I feel like it feels like something's missing.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear. I appreciate that. I appreciate that as we get you ready for a huge game tomorrow night up against the Knicks, who. I mean, you talk about a defensive. Who are they? The Steelers? The steel curtain
definitely
Steelers?
The NBA Steelers.
This is ridiculous.
1,000%.
This is ridiculous, man. So nobody can be shy tomorrow in terms of taking open shots when you get them. And I know it as simple as it sounds, it's a make or miss league. You got to hit some of them things.
Yeah.
You are probably. Unless your defense is really where it's been the last couple of days, and we'll get into some of these metrics with Keon Ellis, unless you're able to hold the Knicks to a ridiculously low number, and I think I read OG Anunoby probably will be playing. He came back, and now he's got an elbow, but he probably will be playing. 14-2 when OG plays. That's what you call return on investment.
Yeah.
So a lot of those ridiculously low scoring matchups, that was before OG came back.
Yeah.
So the Kings are going to have to be on their P's and Q's to take care of business. Before we get to the Knicks, though, coming up in a little bit, you're not going to want to miss this at about 10:15. We're still going to make fun of the Lakers, and there's more bad sound that is circulating with the Lakers, and we will play that for you. We will hear from Jorge Sedano, who was on the Drive Guys yesterday, and discuss his thoughts on how the Kings are essentially turning into the dark horse team.
Yep.
And
right in front of our eyes.
That kind of scares me, though, if we're honest, Because March Madness around the corner as well. There'll be at least 4 or 5 dark horse teams. That 3 seed always looks enticing.
Those 5-12s.
Those 5-12s. There's always a 12. Because when's the last time, I guess if we're talking about major sports, when is the last time a dark horse has won the whole thing?
Oh, the whole thing?
Not made some noise, won the whole thing.
I mean, maybe like the Nick Foles Eagles, maybe, but I don't even know if people were, I mean, I can't speak to if people were actually believing that they could get it done. I mean, it's definitely, especially in basketball. I mean, it doesn't happen. Maybe you could be a dark horse to make some noise, and you could be like the Miami Heat got about as far as you can as an underdog last year, and the Lakers, I guess, if you want to say that, yesterday or last year in the conference finals.
Are you guys saying any time frame?
Yeah, it could be any time frame.
I mean, the Giants have beat the Patriots.
Well, we were saying
recent.
Yes, I guess we could do any time frame, or I guess recently. But then there's straight up underdog and dark horse. That's the thing.
Right.
Oh, so like they have to have some weight behind them, and you have to be like,
they're the
this
sexy
team.
pick.
Yes.
Right. And I feel like the dark horse is the sexy pick. And I feel like the Giants were not the sexy pick. They just weren't picked.
No.
Right. And like
That's
the San Francisco Giants in 10, 12, and 14, I wouldn't call them, maybe in 12 and 14, they were dark horses because of 10.
What about the Rams 2 years, 21?
I could get down with that.
Yeah.
I could get down
Mahomes
with that.
is still around. Then you have Burrow
too,
coming up. Brady's still around.
And I would also say that the
Niners.
dark horse can get there, right? The dark horse gets there very often, but you got to win it. I would say the Bengals were a dark horse.
I'm familiar with getting there very often and not winning it.
But you guys Niners don't get there as dark horses.
No, they're not dark horses, but I'm just saying.
The Diamondbacks last season with the World Series, I don't even know if they were dark horses because nobody picked them.
Exactly.
I think, oddly enough, the Rangers may have been a dark, even though they balled out.
Right.
A lot of people were looking at the Astros and the same old teams. But I'll tell you this much. In Sacramento, being a dark horse is better than being no horse at all. So the fact that you're getting this type of respect from national media, we played Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp yesterday. Jorge Sedano was on the Drive Guys yesterday as well. So we have that sound for you. It's a new day, Chris. Yeah. It's crazy how so much can change. And
that's exactly what I was just thinking.
And I don't want to go there, but it could all change back.
Oh, yeah.
It could all change back in a week.
It's a miracle what happens when you beat the media darlings, that is the Los Angeles Lakers. All of a sudden, everybody starts paying attention, and nobody even talks about the Kings being up and down all season because right now they're up, and so they can ride this dark horse as long as they can. But yeah, you're completely right. The second the Kings start to falter, or if they lose to the Pelicans, or if they lose to one of these Mavericks games coming up, yeah, I'm sure people will turn their back to the Kings once again, and they'll be right back where they've always been as the team that's not talked about. Because, I will say in a weird way, especially with this team, how we've seen how they've dealt with expectations, I think I'm okay with nobody talking about us.
That's right. That's right. When things get a little bit too big,
get hot.
Honestly, that's what happened at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, they had a lot of expectations, and not to say that they completely missed on them. They had expectations. I think it was more about the Timberwolves and the Thunder exceeding expectations versus the Kings not meeting them. By the way, and who does this scare? This is speaking about being the dark horse and how things change. The Kings were 1.5 point underdogs at home to a Laker team that they had never lost to. You want to know what the line is today, according to OddsShark?
For tomorrow's game?
For tomor's game.
It's
going to scare you. It's going to scare you.
Oh, man. Okay. That makes me feel like the Kings are favored by 5.
Kings are favored by 7.5.
What?
7.5.
I wonder if they're questioning OG's availability.
Maybe. But that scares the heck out of me.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely doesn't make me comfortable. I mean, I feel like earlier in the season, we talked about when the Kings were 16-point favorites again. I mean, that was against the Charlotte Hornets, and the Kings did end up losing that game. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks are a tough team. And I guess maybe the thought process there is the Kings offense has been clicking as of late. And, the Knicks have held opponents under 100, but that's also because the Knicks struggle to get over 100 themselves. So maybe the thought process is the Kings offense is just going to be an undeniable force that's going to get to 115 points. And it's just, I mean, Jalen Brunson's going to have a 40-point game again if they're going to want to put up that many.
Yeah, there's not a lot of offensive options with the Knicks right now with no Julius Randle. We will also hear not from directly Brandon Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli, but we are in contact with them to get updates after the shoot around to hopefully get some injury updates for everyone before we take off and before the game tomorrow, which could then change, of course. When we return, wise words from Michael Malone in Denver. It speaks to how we should be looking at this starting lineup. And yeah, don't forget, we're going to make fun of the Lakers again. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
With conference championships around the corner, now's the time to register for the Dos Million Bracket Challenge. Sign up now at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Then fill out your bracket before the tournament tips off March 21st.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Don't forget your chance to win tickets to see Hassan Minaj. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown Sacramento on March 29th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. Chris Watkins and his great mood will pick the caller today, or the caller number today, 916-339-1140, as we get you ready for a huge matchup against the New York Knicks. So give me the rundown, Chris. You've been my guide this whole time. What can we expect as far as the Knicks turnout? There's going to be a lot of orange and blue in there.
It'll be interesting. I actually don't think so. I mean, I would assume that there would be some, obviously, I mean, you can go to any Kings versus, pick the most random Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find some random Cavs fans in there. I think the Knicks don't – I mean, it's quite literally on the complete opposite side of this country. So there's not a ton of New York transplants out here. So it really shouldn't be anything that you notice. Like, of course, there's going to be slight murmurs of cheers, but shouldn't be anything Chicago Bulls level. Definitely not Boston Celtics level, even though those are still same.
Well, Miami too, but the difference is Miami's won.
That's right.
Chicago's won.
That's right.
And that's what breeds fans.
In a weird way, the Knicks are like a big market version of the Kings. Like they're like
in what way?
Just like, I mean, incredibly unsuccessful since the 90s even. And I mean, they're like, I mean, being in a big market, you're supposed to be able to attract all these free agents. You're supposed to be this destination location. You've got the history of being what New York Knicks mean to that city. And yet they haven't really attracted any free agents. And they still haven't really found success. They're pretty much in the same exact spot as the Kings are. Mm-hmm. They made it to the second round last year, but I mean, they're not really any closer to a championship than the Kings are either.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, the difference is they do a lot of talking as if they're going to get, right. I mean, the list, who's worse as we get back to this Darvin Ham sound that we're about to play, who is worse between the photoshops with Knicks fans and Laker fans and how the Knicks are supposed to have Kevin Durant.
Sure.
The list goes on and on, and they end up with an undersized guard in Jaylen Brunson that really is there. A lot of it is because of his daddy.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of it is because of his pops, and the fact that the Mavericks and their idiotic selves turned down Jaylen Brunson twice. Yeah. So in all actuality, the biggest and was it trade how they got Julius Randle? Was that a trade?
Yes, I believe so.
So Jaylen Brunson's your biggest free agent acquisition, but that one's got an asterisk next to it.
Right. Yeah, because Carmelo they traded for, even though they probably could have gotten him in free agency if they just waited 6 months. Amari Stoudemire might have been a free agent. I think that might have been like their previous big free agent signing. But yeah, I mean, I would say the Lakers are worse. I mean, the Lakers are the OG of Photoshop. And the thing about the Knicks is, at the very least, their hopes and dreams and Photoshops are all based off of like, oh, he's from New York, or KD's, business partner is Rich Kleiman, who's like the biggest Knicks fan in the world, or, Leon West is Leon Rose, I'm sorry, is used to be in charge of the CAA agency. And this guy used to be one of their biggest clients. Like, they're things that make sense. Lakers don't care if it makes sense or not. They're just going to put Giannis, Steph, LeBron, AD, and Joel Embiid in a graphic and say, just wait for next year.
Right.
And, I mean, they're fully delusional.
Yeah, they really are.
Never go full Laker.
And speaking of delusional, here's Darvin Ham. And to be fair, before we play this sound, it is taken out of context.
Very much.
But we don't care, because it's still floating around.
It's still confusing.
It's still confusing. We'll explain the rest of the context after. But this is in the post-game presser. Darvin Ham is asked a question, and throughout his answer, this is what he had to say, and it's been cut and been played, and Laker fans are destroying him. Here it is.
I wish I could tell Mike Brown, please come down to when you play offense, just let us know what you're going to run in so we can, stop it and not have to, give second and third efforts.
So basically the rest of the quote is pretty much, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
So we have to be prepared, and we weren't prepared.
Right.
But it still sounds insane.
Right. Yeah. It's because, I mean, I just don't understand what he was like. Yeah. I mean, he didn't need to set it up like that. It's he's rightfully so getting dragged. Like, I mean, I know it's cut out of context, but like, bro, how about you just like draw up a good defensive game plan? Like, to even have that in your mind of like, oh yeah, like Mike Brown, I don't know.
It just seems so obvious. It seems like such an obvious statement. Why would you say that?
Right, exactly. I don't get it. And, it doesn't surprise me that Laker fans are taking it and running with it, and they don't care. I mean, Laker fans, there's no way Laker fans are going to do the necessary research to find out that he had more to say. They just trying to get that fool out of there. I think that's the biggest thing he is done.
Yeah.
He is so done. And I think that's kind of why you see LeBron's effort. Really, he didn't care in that game, especially defensively. But like you said, he had 9 points in the first 3 quarters, and then kind of turned it on late. Like, that's not a good situation, man. Like that I'm not sad about it at all. But watching the Lakers just kind of be lifeless it's just interesting, man. Like, I'm just surprised that there's not more pride, because LeBron, especially being 39 years old, you would just think he's like, I ain't got time to mess around here. So I don't know. It's a really weird situation.
I think he's just look, exactly what Brian Windhorst said. I think they're just praying that they get a decent matchup. An injured T-Wolves. We got to get out of the play. And I think they're assuming that at this point it's looking like, and I know the Warriors are supposed to get Steph back soon. It's looking like the Lakers will host they have to win 2, right?
Yeah.
So they would host the
if
Warriors,
9-10, yeah.
and then they would have to face the loser of
7-8,
Suns,
right.
Mavericks, how it is set up right now.
That's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to
speak
be.
it into existence.
That's right.
That's how it's going to be.
And so you got to win 2 of those games, and then you got to go on to hopefully play the Thunder. And if you play the Nuggets, it's just
another sweep.
If you play the Nuggets, that's just not even good.
Update that AD graphic.
Yeah.
Quick.
If you play the Nuggets, that's not even good for the rest of the league because the Nuggets probably won't even have to lift a finger.
No.
To take care.
No, they killed them last year.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. And who knows what's next. We talked to Jovan Buha, Lakers writer for The Athletic, a couple days ago, and essentially he said that he thinks LeBron will be there next season, but after that season, he doesn't know. That would also make LeBron 41 at that point. So in 2 years, when LeBron's 41, at that point, I don't know. I think
how can you bet on anyone to be good at 41 years old?
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. I mean, I know Tom Brady just did the impossible here, but like it's a lot more movement in action in basketball.
I would be prepared if that's the case. If Jovan, who's very plugged into the Lakers, check out his YouTube as well. I would say that we should prepare, number one, for ridiculous photoshops.
Yes,
okay,
can't wait.
All day long with the Lakers. But number two, they might not swing and miss. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're going to try for
just swing for the
DeRozan,
fences, yeah.
Kyrie.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot
Zach
of people
Levine.
are saying
They don't
Zach
care about
Levine.
money.
They don't care about position. They don't care about money. The one thing bringing this back to the Kings is that Laker fans and Lakers media is saying that Anthony Davis has been very open about the fact that he does not want to be a 5.
Right.
He said it time and time again. They continue to play him as a 5, and that is not where he is best suited. So I don't know who their 5 is. That's the problem, or who they bring in. Andre Drummond. He's not. I don't think he's going to start for you. So I don't know what they do, but that's their problem.
Yeah, sure is.
And Darvin Ham, hoping that coaches will tell him what they're going to run, is going to continue to be memed. And I'll tell you what, LeBron might be there next season, but I do not think that
players coach
Darvin Ham will be. When we return, wise words from Michael Malone and how it connects to the Kings lineup and their playoff rotation. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, Sacramento, get ready for a lineup that's not just hitting home runs, but delivering laughs and legendary tunes. It's the Sactown Sports live events calendar, where entertainment takes center stage. First up, on March 22nd, get ready for a night of hilarity as the comic genius Hannibal Buress takes the spotlight at the historic Crest Theater. And on March 23rd, the laughs keep coming with the one and only Dimitri Martin at the Crest Theater. It's a comedy doubleheader that's sure to score big with your funny bone. Visit livenation.com or Ticketmaster to score your tickets. And don't miss the Jacksons with Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine with all your favorite hits, plus Sister Sledge and the Tramps, all March 30th at Thunder Valley. But wait, sports fans, the excitement doesn't end there. On August 4th, the Outlaw Music Festival rides into the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a musical grand slam you won't want to miss. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, the host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140, Saturdays at 10 a.m. I'm excited about our second location at the Roseville Galleria as True Sports Cards continues our expansion. And to celebrate this day, we're excited to announce that Kevin Huerter from the Sacramento Kings will be signing autographs on March 30th at 3 p.m. You can get your tickets for this event right now by going to TrueSportsCards.com, searching Kevin Huerter in the search bar, and buying your ticket. Limited tickets are available, so please go to the website, TrueSportsCards.com, and get your Kevin Huerter tickets right now.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Every beer has a history, but not every beer is as legendary as Coors Banquet. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado. Born of the Rocky Mountains. There's only one beer in the history of beer that has been as stolen, smuggled, and sought after as this one. It's time to find out why. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado. Served everywhere. 2022 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets to see local legend Hassan Minaj. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see him March 29th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Speaking of all guests and callers, join us for the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Heard some sound, and based on when I got this clip or saw this clip, I believe it was from the playoffs last season. And Michael Malone said something that I think was really interesting. Chris and I have spoken about it before, and it's all about being dynamic, right? And when you talk about somebody being a designated hitter in basketball, as far as they only can play defense, they only can play offense, and in the playoffs, that ain't going to work. Well, this was Michael Malone in the midst of their championship run, talking about the type of players that they need and are looking for.
In the playoffs, you can't be a specialist. Specialists don't play in the playoffs. You got to find a way to impact the game.
How many specialists do you think are on the Kings roster right now? Or I guess in the rotation?
Kevin Huerter, for sure. I mean, he's a three-point specialist, no matter what, we talk about or Mike Brown talks about his defense and the deflections, all that stuff. We always make fun of it, but he's a shooter. That is what Kevin Huerter is. You say it all the time. I really, all the other stuff is fine and dandy, but if Kevin Huerter isn't making his shot, he's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
So he's a specialist for sure. HB, I have a tough time because I don't mean to sound like I'm
dull Swiss Army.
Yeah, it's just like what is the one thing that to say specialist, it's almost like, so I guess HB is fitting Mike Malone's descriptor of you got to be versatile, because in theory HB is spreading the wealth across, or he's filling all the buckets. He's not just there for one specific thing. Would you put Davion as a specialist? Like, is he's a ball pressure specialist?
You have to.
I think at this point in time, you probably have to put Keon Ellis in there.
You have to. A couple hot shooting nights.
Yeah, and that can change. It could be a 3-and-D, which is
I would say 3-and-D is versatile.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Like Aaron Gordon to me is versatile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
KCP,
but I don't know that we've seen enough from Keon offensively
to stamp it. Right.
Has he been versatile?
Yes.
Is he a versatile player or going to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's Davion,
Huerter,
Keon, and that's 3 out of what? The
3
9
out of,
guys?
That would have, yeah.
What about
3 out
Trey?
of 9.
Trey Lyles.
I think Trey's got versatility. He can shoot. He's, a big body. He can rebound. I would say Trey is versatile enough to not be classified as a specialist. Just because I wouldn't say that he's just out there to hit threes. Like we've seen him pump fake, drive, play center. So he has to, play in, not necessarily in the post, but at least defensively, he's got to be the guy crashing boards. Trey is like as close as it gets maybe to being classified as a specialist, but I think he does enough other things to not be classified as one. That would probably be it. Duarte is in theory a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
You more than likely get one of the other.
Vezenkov is a specialist.
Absolutely
he's
a
not gonna be in
specialist.
the rotation.
Yeah. I guess you could put JaVale McGee as a specialist. Like he's out there to jump, essentially. Like he's
Alex
there
Len.
to be vertical.
Are Alex Len and JaVale McGee the same specialists?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they're just so different in size, right?
Yeah,
but what's the difference between the two?
I mean, JaVale is used again, like they use him as a lob threat and then defensively protect the rim. You could say that that's two sides of the ball, but he's really just, again, using his verticality on both ends. And that's really the extent of what he's being used. So I would say he's like a vertical specialist. Alex Len, I don't know what the specialty would be besides he's just big. Like he's a big body who does a lot of things with that body though. Like he uses it, I don't know. Yeah,
He is a specialist, but yeah, he's just a big body disruptor.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be it.
Yeah. So looking at that roster,
but those are also end of the bench guys, and like those guys are definitely supposed to be specialists.
Yes, if we keep it to
that's what makes them end of the bench.
Yes, for sure in the rotation. I don't even know if Duarte is in that conversation.
Yeah, right.
I think out of the for sure rotation, which is obviously the starters and then Malik, Davion, Keon,
and Trey.
I think I think the Kings are very confusing because you have two specialists in Davion, three, Davion, Keon, and Herter. But then you have a group of another 2 to 3 with HB, Trey, I guess just HB and Trey, where they're not specialists, but they're also not great at anything.
Yeah.
And that's where in a way I almost somewhat disagree with Coach Malone. I understand what he's saying, but if you're that good at something, you also can play. On the other side of things, if you're not great at anything, I also can't play you.
Sure.
If HB isn't hitting shots and isn't able to stop anybody, the fact that he is not a specialist actually hurts the team.
I think he's getting at where it's like in playoff basketball, it's all about exploiting mismatches. And if you're a one side of the ball player, regardless of what side it is. So if you are, we'll use Keon Ellis as the example. Let's just say Keon's offense is a regular season thing. And in the postseason, he's lights are a little bit brighter. He's not seeming to hit, nearly as high percentage of threes as he's hitting right now. Let's just say that offensively, he's in the corner. They're just not going to guard him. They're going to say, much like I've said, like if Keon Ellis is taking a jump shot, that's a win for us. We're willing to live with that. Defensively, if you're Kevin Herter and you're the offensive specialist, they're just going to attack you.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just Mike saying you have to be a player that cannot be pinpointed as a weak spot on either side. Of course, 5 guys on the floor, somebody is naturally going to be the weak spot of that 5, but it's about making sure that it can't be exploited. And I think that's where maybe you could argue Kevin Herter, we've seen him start to get exploited on the defensive end where teams are just attacking. I think there's greater possibility that a guy like Davion Mitchell, offensively, they're going to leave him and say, if Davion's going to hit this 3 4 times today, I guess we're just going to lose, but we're going to bet on him going 2 of 8 instead of 4 of 8.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that's really where the Kings need to be viewing things from is there anybody that we're going to be playing heavy minutes? Because, everybody's got to find, 5-minute pockets here and there. But is there anyone who's going to be playing an elongated amount of time that can essentially be hunted?
And that is why Keon Ellis has been so valuable because as much as we give Kevin Huerter grief, right, and not just us, a lot of the Kings fan base, he is still respected as a shooter, right? So not only is he being exploited on the defensive end, they're also in his grill and trying to make sure that he doesn't get into a rhythm offensively.
Yeah.
And we've discussed it. He doesn't really shoot off the dribble, so it's hard for him to get his shot off at times. That makes it tough. With Keon Ellis, number one, he's a plus on the defensive end, and offensively, teams are not going to respect Keon Ellis shooting the same way they respect Kevin Huerter. Absolutely. So if he can burn them, then that's just value. Found money. Yeah, that's the value. They're not going to sell out on Keon. Maybe eventually they will, right. But the problem is, depending on who you're playing him with, that is why, Chris, as much as people like it right now and Davion's played better, that is why, I'm be honest with you, I'm not completely sold on the 3-guard lineup. I don't know how much I like Keon and Davion.
Sure.
There are times where it looks
when one of them is making their shot.
Exactly.
Sure.
But if I see that, their team clamp up, but offensively
it could stagnate.
It could stagnate a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And that I wonder if the 3-guard lineup, maybe they're figuring out who are the 3 guards that it's going to involve. Because, I think I think Fox, Malik, and Keon might make some sense. But it might not make as much sense if you have Davion and Keon on the floor with one of those 2 other guys, because like you said, it might just kind of boggle things down. So I think that's what hopefully these remaining games will be about. But I think, I do think that there's levels to it. Like Mike Malone just went through all of the playoff rounds. I think in the first round, your bench is allowed to be a little bit bigger. But as the rounds go on, you've got to kind of condense. And that's where I think you really have to start paying attention to what Mike's talking about there.
Coming up next, we hear from Jorge Sedano. He was on the Drive Guys yesterday. And how things have changed. The Kings are now the team that no one wants to face. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment, and Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. That's up to a $299 value. Power through spring with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, post-nasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
The old saying goes, men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie. And, you know, Chris, I've heard that before. I actually feel like they don't always tell the truth, right? Numbers never lie is how it ends. But numbers may not ever lie, but they don't always tell.
They don't tell the full story.
The whole truth, the full story. So a little bit later, we will have a conversation about Keon Ellis and how his numbers look and how his stats look and whether or not we should be getting as excited as we currently are. And if that sample size is big enough. Let's hear from Jorge Sedano right now, who was on the Drive Guys yesterday, who had some things to say about the Kings. And he used some words that I don't think we were discussing last week. Here's Jorge Sedano.
And I think they're better suited, having gone through the experience that they went through last year. They certainly surprised me last year at times defensively in that series against Golden State. And now I've seen it in bursts for this team this year in the regular season. So I expect that to be a consistent thing for them.
Oh, these are amazing. Wow. That's good.
Wow, these are good.
It's delicious.
There you go. So Jorge Sedano, he was really high on the Kings, and obviously everybody's afraid of Denver, but I think the biggest thing here is that these top three seeds are unproven.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can get away, or if you can get that Thunder, and here's the other thing, if you're the Thunder or the T-Wolves, you're hearing all this.
Right.
Okay. I know I saw that Karl Anthony Towns put a Gohan or Goku picture on his Instagram, basically saying it was him in the tube, in the chamber, as he's
like in the lab.
Getting ready to return. Initially, it said Karl Anthony Towns wouldn't be back until the Western Conference Final, but these guys are young and they can recover quickly. So we'll see. But do you think that national media is now going overboard on the Kings because they don't watch the Kings all the time?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting him to say, like, we've seen this team lock up defensively or have that defensive intensity in spurts. Like, I think that's kind of a little bit of telling on himself. Like, I don't think that I definitely don't feel like the Kings have had multiple games of really good defensive play. It's really just been their last 2 games have been their really 2 of their best defensive performances of the season. So I haven't seen the continued sense of elevated defensive intensity that he's referring to. I'm not saying that we haven't just reached a turning point here where maybe these 2 games is what the Kings build on, but he goes on to say that, if you continue to play that defense and you don't play Denver in the playoffs, you could find yourself in the conference finals. I am not willing to go that far right now. I'm not saying he's wrong. I definitely think we could map out a possible scenario where the Kings do get some favored matchups in the first and second round and make it to the conference finals, but I would not be willing to say that what I've seen from this team, especially just the general inconsistency, not even necessarily just on defense, but from what we've just watched from this team all year, it'd be very ambitious and optimistic to say these guys are absolutely right in the thick of it for conference final contention just as much as teams like the Suns and if you want to put the Clippers in that same tier, like he kind of was almost, and I understand if you listen to the full thing, it really is just him complimenting Denver and almost Denver being in a tier of their own. But I would say that there's probably 3 tiers to it, and the Kings are probably more so top 3rd tier than in that second tier, which I would put, the Clippers, OKC, Minnesota, maybe the Pelicans in there, maybe Phoenix if you like them. But I feel like that's just the more likely group to reach that. And I feel like the Kings and some of these other teams that we're finding at the bottom of the West they're at the bottom for a reason.
Yeah. And look, we're all happy that everybody is high on the Kings right now.
Great.
I think that going back to that dark horse conversation, that's literally the Pelicans.
Right.
That's literally the Pelicans, and it's the Pelicans for the last 2-3 seasons. That's that team that I feel could legitimately, quote unquote, make some noise.
Yeah, they just got to be healthy.
They got to be healthy, but at the same time, if the Kings get hot and you can defend and be a little bit handsy as they've been able to do the last couple games against 2 free throw. The positive way to look at this is everybody's saying, hey, we're talking about the free throws and the pace being the pace of number of free throws being so low since years and years and years ago, but the Kings still gave up a ton of free throws. You could say, yeah, but they gave up a ton of free throws to 2 free throw merchant teams and they still won.
Yeah.
So the chances of, and first of all, those 2 free throw merchant teams, one of them is probably not going to face the Kings in the Western Conference because that's the Lakers and they're trash and front runners. And 2, the Bucks. Okay, we'll deal with it. If the Kings get to the finals,
right,
we'll deal with it. That is the last thing on our minds right now. So the only other team that I feel like could exploit this, and Chris, correct me if I'm forgetting another team, would be your boy, Mr. Let me make an IG post every time I win a game and I'm the coolest and I got all the fashion going on, would be Shai Gilgeous,
the free throw merchant himself.
Shai Gilgeous and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That would worry me against a handsy team like the Kings. And maybe I'm forgetting another team off the top of my head. Shadily, Kawhi, he does it with integrity, but that man knows how to get to the free throw line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that
James
team.
Harden, yeah.
That team. So, yes. Clippers and the Thunder worry me.
Yeah, Clippers definitely for sure. Yeah, the Thunder, I just feel like with the Thunder, when I try and map out that series, I just see Sabonis dominating Chet Holmgren. It's a lot like the Anthony Davis matchup, but honestly, way worse for Chet. Like Chet, it would be like if Sabonis right now was going against like a rookie AD. He just doesn't have the size to deal with them, and I have no idea why OKC went through the trade deadline and didn't get a big. Like they needed a big last year when they were running the other Jaylen Williams, who's like 6'8" at center, and now it's him and Chet as their only big. So I just think Sabonis is going to dominate that matchup, and I feel like Shai and De'Aaron will pretty much play to a stalemate, and at that point, it's on the others, right? It's on Keegan. I'm going to do that all season long. It's on Keegan. It's on Herter to have those big series. But, if we're just talking from the foul merchant perspective of it, I hear what you're saying. Like the Kings do play a very physical, up at the ball, pressure kind of defense. And, if it depends how they're going to call it, right? Are they going to call it like how they've been calling it recently, where they're going to let those guys play and be handsy, or are they going to fall back into letting Shea head whip around and get fouls? And if that's going to be the case, I mean, that doesn't, slowing the game down really doesn't play into the Kings' hands.
No, especially if you're talking about getting into foul trouble.
Yes.
And now
if Sabonis gets in foul trouble, that's where the Kings get in trouble.
Yeah, Sabonis. We've seen De'Aaron. He fouled out once. I recall him fouling out once this season. And the same way teams will hunt different guys to try to get buckets, they will hunt guys. If Sabonis has 2 early fouls and he gets sit down, as soon as he comes back in, that's what teams are going to do. I'm going to go at Sabonis. I'm going to try to get him his 3rd. I'm going to try to get him his 4th. That's what teams do to Karl Anthony Towns and some of these guys that are bigger and offensively gifted, but may not be defensively gifted to put it nicely. But Jorge Sedano, number one, awesome that the Drive guys got him on. He's a legend in the game. Shout out Jay.
That's got to be. Jay's got to have his fingers on that one.
How many contacts do you think is in Jay's phone? Over under. I don't even know how many contacts are in my phone.
You literally couldn't put a number on it. Like, there's no way. Because the thing about Jay's Rolodex is probably it's like the isn't there a game like 3 lines of separation?
Right.
Like, that's what I feel like Jay's Rolodex is. It's like, hey, I bet Jay doesn't have Michael Jordan's number.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you he could get it if he makes 2 phone calls. I guarantee. Like, it's crazy. I would probably put it. I mean, he's got to have 2 phones. Jay's definitely a 2 phone guy.
Definitely a 2 phone guy. He definitely had a sidekick back in the day as well, and a normal phone. I would say, when they go up to the
sick.
Oh, they were.
I used to love. Yeah, my sister had one that not the slide up one, but like the
actual
flick
kick. Oh
around.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
like you could
one.
do it with some like intensity.
Oh,
you can really flick that thing out.
If you really wanted to look like you were busy, you flick that thing.
Oh yeah, and then you just kind of snap it back in.
Yeah, hold on. I got something to say. And have you seen those things on social media where they'll ask athletes how many unread messages do you have right now?
Absolutely.
I'm putting the over under for Jay at about, I'm saying 52.5.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go in the hundreds.
Okay,
I was definitely gonna go in the hundreds. How many do you have?
No, I get OCD. I gotta read.
I used to, but then I think something happened. I have 126 in
unread messages.
Yeah. I don't know how it happened, but
some of them
are group. I mean, like, look,
what
like,
is
I've got
that?
group messages up top.
Are they muted?
No, it's just
that's crazy.
I just got a lot of it's not great. It drives me crazy too. My mail app, I've almost thought about deleting. I have 13,000.
I can't. No, I'm feeling uncomfortable even having this conversation. Got a couple texts that came through that we will read off, and also as we spoke about earlier and alluded to, men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie. We give you the Keon Ellis numbers when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit alsco.com.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for Dodge Power Shot Days?
A special sale on the very last of the new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challengers with savings up to $12,000 off MSRP. That means you can save up to 33% on some classic American muscle, starting as low as $24,520. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of history with the very last of the V8 Scat Packs.
Wow, up to 33% off. Hey, that seems impossible.
We do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of this savings at Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,000 total net savings after 6330 factory rebates and 5580 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible First Responder Association and California resident. 20% net savings. See dealer for details.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
With conference championships around the corner, now's the time to register for the Dos Million Bracket Challenge. Sign up now at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Then fill out your bracket before the tournament tips off March 21st.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia during their spring event and save big on your favorite models. You can even buy with zero down on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The TNT crew had a lot going on yesterday, and we will have a lot going on March 29th.
That's right.
As Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj. That is at 1 p.m., 916-339-1140. That's also open if you want to talk Kings all day long. Also Niners as well. We got a little bit of Niners later in the show as they made some moves and their foes and rivals have made some moves as well. So there was so much going on TNT yesterday. And, you know, Chris, we get off at 2 p.m. So get to catch the early slate. And at one point, I'm watching Sun Celtics, and this went a little viral. This is all within the Sun Celtics game. So at one point, Shaq has a bowl because Shaq loves bowl. So Shaq has
like
a bowl. He has a bowl.
cereal bowl.
A cereal bowl. He proceeds to put the smaller snack size cereals in the cereal bowl.
Okay.
He puts in
Like the
Frosted
little-
Flakes,
okay, yeah.
Fruit Loops, and I think Pops or whatever. And he's making the bowl, and Ernie and the rest of the panel, they're just saying, "Shaq, what are you doing? This is for my boy Bull. This is for my boy Bull." And then they say, and then they say, "Well, where is the milk?" And he says, "I'm gonna do it like we did back in the day when we didn't have milk, and we just grabbed what we had."
Don't say water.
He takes his hot tea and poured the tea in the cereal and starts eating.
Don't say eat it.
He
No.
starts eating it,
brother,
on TV. Then, as the segment is still going on, they pan back to Shaq about a minute, 2 minutes later, and he has the bowl tipped, and he's drinking. He's drinking it. It's out of control.
Was it like in a coffee cup that he poured the tea, or was it clear and obvious that it was tea?
Yeah, no. It was obvious because he poured it, and it was almost like it looked like a raspberry tea. It had a red tint to it, and you could tell because of the condensation in the bowl. It was warm, hot tea.
I can't stand. First off, Shaq is way too rich to be even doing that. Even if those are humble beginnings,
Yeah.
I don't care, man.
Somebody can go grab you some milk.
Shaq could literally yell in the set, "Hey, can I get some milk?" And someone would literally have to leave the studio, go across the street to some convenience store and pick up some. Like he has that amount of power. He should not be drinking like a combination of cereals with tea.
Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
I don't care how big Shaq is. You can't just throw that down, man.
And you just heard Kenny just in the background say
Man,
that's
what is
nasty.
going on, man?
That's nasty.
Come
That's
on.
nasty. So something else happened, and this is actually from the game. So basically a timeout gets called, and Joe Mazzulla is one of the younger coaches.
Yeah.
He's still a bit spry, and I believe it was Royce O'Neal. A timeout gets called, and Royce O'Neal, as a lot of players do, right? Royce O'Neal goes to take a shot during the timeout, and Joe Mazzulla is already kind of on the court, right? And at this point, the game is about 2 minutes left, something like that in the game, and the Suns are attempting to make a run back, and Joe Mazzulla, who is essentially already on the court, jumps up and fully contends Royce O'Neal's shot. And
that's hilarious.
Everybody grabs it. They say it's fun. Everybody grabs a clip.
Yeah.
They say it's funny. You go back to the post game and they're talking about it. And this is what Charles Barkley had to say. I would have knocked the hell out of him. I'm not going to lie. I would have hit him. I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. What if he stepped on his ankle and hurt himself badly?
Bruh.
He can't do that. Come on, man. Is Charles overreacting?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
He's not wrong, technically.
Sure. I guess, but no, but he's not going to do it's not like Joe Mazzulla played at West Virginia in college.
Right.
It's not like he's, Tom Thibodeau out there or something contesting a jumper. Like he knows what he's doing. It's not like I haven't seen the video, but I'm assuming he's not sprinting at him like he's on a closeout.
No.
Like I'd assume it's a harmless little.
I thought it was harmless, but I guess
crazy.
Barkley has a point. But yeah, that
sounds like he just doesn't like Joe Mazzulla. To be honest with you.
yeah. That show was a bit off the rails yesterday.
It sure
but
was.
That's how they get down, and we know how Keon has been getting down lately. Here's some stats, Chris, that are kind of crazy, and this is from Basketball Reference. Keon Ellis, as we know, is 6-0 as a starter for the Kings with wins over Portland, OKC, Utah, Minnesota, Milwaukee, and the Lakers. Their defensive rating in these games is 106.99, which would be first in the league, very small sample size, better than Minnesota's league-leading mark of 109.78. Kings overall rank 20th at 117.62. Now, let's continue here. Next, you have, as a side, and this is from Professor Oak in Kings Twitter, who's just pulling all these numbers. As an aside, the Kings offensive rating in these 6 games is 121.12, which would rank 3rd in the NBA. Their overall net rating in these games is plus 14.13, which would be 1st in the NBA. And 4 of these games were played without De'Aaron Fox.
That's crazy. That's the craziest part about it.
Is this too insane to say, wow? Is it too small of a sample size to say this is out of control, or is it out of control either way? In a good way, out of control.
I think that it's a too small of a sample size to take it and run with it and just say this is how it should be, but it's a large enough sample size to say there's definitely something here that we should further explore. And I think it's interesting of how much of this too is I know those are numbers in Keon starts, but how much is it to what Mike Brown was trying to tell us Wednesday after the game? Well, he cannot start and still play 20-25 minutes. So, is that maybe where Mike Brown's going to use these stats in towards his advantage? I definitely think it's something. Like if we're doing something, nothing, or a little bit of something, I would definitely say that this is absolutely something. Like the fact that they because it's both numbers. Like, you could just tell me the defensive number that with Keon Ellis in the starting lineup, the Kings are or would be first in defensive rating. That's definitely a noteworthy note or stat. But then you throw on the fact that the offense, it doesn't disrupt the offense at all, and it might even make them better in weird ways. That's where it's like, okay, we cannot just ignore this, because that's the recipe everybody's looking for, right? Can you be excellent defensively and still not compromise yourself offensively? That's the balance that the Kings have struggled to find all season long. We saw at the beginning of the year, it was Keegan Murray. How can you develop your defense? But it killed his offense, and that really symbolized the Kings as well. They couldn't find consistent shooting. If they can lock up and play offense at the same time, I think that's exactly what they're looking for, and they should definitely do what they can to explore those options as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm more convinced on the defensive side of things than the offensive side of things. I think it's too small of a sample size as far as Keon's just been hot right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would like to see the numbers for when Keon eclipses a certain number of minutes.
Exactly.
So when Keon plays more than 15 minutes, maybe, what does it look like? Because I think that's probably a more realistic look than, because some of those starts, he hasn't played that many minutes. Some of those starts, he may not have eclipsed 20 minutes, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know that he has gotten to, definitely 25 in all of his starts. We'd have to check that one out. But yeah, the defensive, I'm already sold on. I think that that is the easy sell. It's the offensive side of things where you have to see. But the one thing that we have to remember, as far as the lights maybe being too bright as far as the playoffs, is that there are a lot of Sabonis, I would not count as a question mark, but there are a lot of question marks throughout this whole roster as far as the lights being too bright.
Yeah.
So for me, whether it's Kevin Huerter or Keegan Murray, are we just assuming that because they were in the playoffs last season, the lights aren't going to be too bright this season? Yeah. I'm not saying that to say that they're not going to be ready. I'm saying that to say, I don't know that that's a reason to be more worried about Keon Ellis than either of those guys who struggled in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, no. And I looked up the number. When Keon plays 15 or more minutes, the Kings, it's been 13 games this season. They're 10-3.
Wow.
So they're 10-3 when Keon Ellis
So you got the 6-0, obviously.
Yep, you got the 6-0, obviously. In games in which he didn't start but played more than 15 minutes, it was two Phoenix wins, one at Phoenix, one at home, both of which were in December. You have one of those losses is to OKC, one of those losses is to Houston, but that was the game where or one of the games in which the Kings got that was the game recently, actually. And then the one of those other games was a Boston 25-point blowout, which he was probably playing a lot of garbage time. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
yeah, to go to the off, I think that, that's you said it earlier, but I kind of want to see what the offense looks like maybe when Keon doesn't have it going, because that's he's not going to be hot the rest of this season. And the playoffs is definitely an interesting thing to talk about with this team, because, while we can talk about defense and defensive intensity with this team, you're totally right. Like, Kevin Huerter didn't knock down shots in the playoffs last year. Keegan Murray for the first 3 games didn't knock down shots. Harrison Barnes didn't knock down shots in the playoffs. And I don't really know how or if that problem is fixed, but with how they've played so far this season, I have a tough time just believing that it's going to happen, like you said, just because they have that
right, just because they were there.
Doesn't necessarily, if all season long, Kevin Huerter's been up and down, and Keegan has been down and then up and then hurt, and now it looks like he's playing well, and who even knows how to describe what HB's done this year? Like, I don't know why, just like you said, just because it's now the playoffs and they're more focused up, the shots are just going to fall. Like, I have a tough time seeing that. We just won't know.
We will not know.
Yeah.
There is no way for us to know.
And we don't even know how much of it was the Warriors versus just them being in that situation, because like the Sabonis thing, really, like we don't know if just the Warriors did something to make Sabonis uncomfortable, or if maybe for whatever reason playoff lights are too bright and Sabonis struggled because of that.
But that's what's interesting about this Kings team, because, and I think they have another opportunity against the Knicks on Saturday. Their primetime matchups, they normally do pretty well. They got blown out against the 76ers, right? But without Joel Embiid. But for the most part, they have shown up in these big matchups when it's nationally televised against big brand names, whether it be the Warriors or whoever it is, they've shown up. So, and we'd have to look up how they did in primetime matchups last season compared to this season, but that makes me feel a little bit better. It's not the same, but it's the closest thing
for sure
you're going to get. That's why I think a lot of us, as silly as it sounded, wanted to see how they would do in the in-season tournament, because it's one of the closest things, and we know now it wasn't close at all with where the Lakers have ended up. And to look at the schedule, Chris, it's an insane back-to-back. They're at Knicks, at Celtics. You're back east. You got to play in New York, in the Garden, where De'Aaron, he thinks it's overrated, and they're going to let him hear it. And you got to go to Boston. To me, especially with what's on the line.
When is that? That's next weekend?
No. That's in April. That's the beginning of April. So to me, the one good thing we talk about, man, April's going to be tough, but the one good thing is these games are going to matter, and they're big opponents. So the closest that the Kings will be able to get to that playoff environment, at least they will have
get a taste of it.
I'll honestly take that over playing the Hornets, and they got the Blazers for the last game, but I'd probably take that over it.
It's a nice little ramp up.
Yeah, definitely. When we return, Patrick Beverley gives more. What is happening? Are we in the upside down? Now Patrick Beverley giving high praise to Sacramento, and not just the team, the city as well. We will play that sound. We'll also get into the MVP ladder, and Draymond Green give his thoughts on Sabonis being 10-0 against Anthony Davis. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
National Ping Club Fitter of the Year, Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is introducing the straightest, most forgiving Ping driver ever with the new Ping G430 Max 10K driver. A fixed back weight, Ping's largest head profile, and a carbon fly wrap crown help G430 Max 10K launch the ball higher with less spin for consistently longer and straighter results. Schedule your fitting and see for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue to Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Local, live, and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown Sacramento on March 29th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. I think I said I'm picking the number today. Or did I say no, Chris? I think it's Chris's turn to pick the number for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj as we continue to break down all things Sacramento Kings, and Patrick Beverley actually had some high praise. What's going on, Chris, with everybody just being nice to Sacramento?
I'm telling you,
is it the weather?
You beat the Lakers, man, and then all of a sudden people start talking nice to you. And I guess, Patrick Beverley
sweep.
That's true. Sweep the Lakers. That's right.
And it was national.
Sold them short
because I know the first game was national
back against the Bucks, which which is why Patrick Beverley's talking about him. He's on the Bucks, and the Kings handed as well, I don't know if I'll just say belt to behind as Patrick.
That's
Beverley
what he
likes
says.
To say.
A and then $2 signs.
Yes, there you go.
Yes,
there you go. Yeah, so that I think that has to do with why Pat Bev is talking about him. I don't know why Draymond's talking about the Kings, but yeah, I mean, I'm here for the at least respect. I mean, it's the Kings' history with being on national TV is usually not great. I mean, usually in the past when they were talking about the Kings, it was never positive. So. It's a weird adjustment period to have them. I guess if they're going to be forced to talk about the Kings, at least it's positive.
Let's hear from Patrick Beverley and what he had to say.
Sure enough.
Oh my goodness, what the speed.
I think Sabonis is just underrated in the fact that he's playing. We went from Indiana to Sacramento.
He's playing so well. It's the system, so you got to get a coach a lot of credit. Obviously, Darren Fox, Malik Monk. I mean, they playing their ass off. They energetic. They're flying around.
Harrison Barnes.
I mean, yeah, he's steady all the time.
Keegan Murray didn't play against you guys, but he's very nice.
Yeah. Trey Lyles. I mean, those guys are Herder. Yeah, solid. I always like Sac though.
Yeah, Herder, popular among the ladies.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
That one girl said that she's, I guess, in love with him or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
The girl from the background of that Steph Curry photo, but who was looking in the background of the picture?
Herderer.
Hey, at least he's bringing it up.
At least he's talking about it.
At least he's bringing it up. You had Wembanyama and everything like that. So they're getting respect, man. And the Bucks, they saw it straight up. And obviously, this is exactly what's been missing. If this had happened, or if this narrative was going, and that's what happens when you're in Sacramento, it takes much longer to get where you actually already have been. And yes, they're playing good ball right now, but the Kings have had good stretches before. And if you were having conversations like this in the national, I don't know if you consider, is Patrick Beverley, is he national? What do we do with these player podcasts? Is that national media?
I don't know. I guess.
Or league wide,
sure.
If you will.
Yeah, there you go.
To have these conversations league wide, Domantas Sabonis would have been an all-star, and De'Aaron Fox would have been an all-star. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Nobody was talking about them, right? You see the MVP ladders, which we have Sabonis on there, but at the same time, that's not what matters. It's the NBA is so much a cool kids club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sacramento just has never been in the cool kids club. They've had to break the door down.
Yeah.
And it feels like right now they have breaking the door down by beating two faces of the NBA back to back.
Yeah.
That's just all it took.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you're totally right, because I've frequented NBA media before, and I've noticed the trend of it usually takes one person sticking their neck out and saying, hey, I've noticed this thing going on where, yeah, I mean, the Kings have won, let's see here. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. Oh, wow, the Kings are playing really good basketball. And then all of a sudden, people who cover the league, but as we know, don't actually watch the games, they're like, oh, okay, let me look into that. Because I think NBA especially, it's so much different. Just the way people talk about basketball is different than any other sport. It feels like, especially from the media or the national media side of things, people are afraid to stick their neck out. People are afraid to say something that everybody else isn't saying. It's easy to just kind of go with the flow and, yeah, talk about the Lakers, talk about the Warriors, but talk about all of the best teams in the league. But you don't hear a lot of conversation about the Pelicans or the Mavericks or the Kings, because that would require them actually watching the games and figuring those things out for themselves. So, it's interesting to hear the Kings talk this much, but at the same time, we know it'll go away just as quick as it came. And it'll be a new flashy team that everyone's talking about.
I'll tell you what, though. I know the Kings like to fly under the radar. As much as we like this, I don't know how much the Kings like this. They're just not used to it. And this is the same thing that happened coming off that 3 seed at the beginning of the season. And you were there at Media Day with Whitey.
Yep.
I don't know how comfortable it makes them. And if they show up, that's another big brand. Saturday night, is it National Saturday Night?
I don't think so, but it could be. I mean, it's a 7:00 tip, so I can't imagine there's many other games going on.
I'm checking right now. It's not national, right? But it's still a national brand.
Yeah, definitely.
If you beat the Knicks now, that train is going to keep rolling.
Yeah, no.
It's going to keep rolling, and I hope that the Kings are ready for it. Maybe it took all season to prepare because maybe, hey, we came off last season, we snuck up on some people. You get through this one, and now it's time for Chris to worry.
Yes,
because
exactly.
after that,
it gets easy.
The Grizzlies come to town. You got to go to Toronto, and please, you got to beat Toronto. Toronto cannot beat anyone.
The Kings are like an elephant, man. They're like, they're big, they're huge, everyone marvels, and then they're afraid of mice.
Yes.
It's like,
that's right.
They beat all these giants, they have fun, feels great, and then we see the Grizzlies, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
You get a little tight.
Can't do it.
Get a little tight.
I cannot stand it.
You host the Grizzlies. You got to go to Toronto, and this is a little mini back east trip. You go to Toronto, you go to Washington. Goodness gracious.
That's not even an option.
No. And I'm not saying, don't say it. Just don't. We're not saying it. We're not saying
you just don't want to be that team.
No.
As Kyle Kuzma.
And he's getting trolled for that as well. Magic, they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
They're going to be tough. That was double overtime.
Yes.
And De'Aaron Fox played in that game. He just didn't play very well. Right?
Yes. Yeah. That was the game where Malik kind of hinted at first that De'Aaron had something going on.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So that's your back east trip. And then you host the 76ers. And right after that is when you have that, not back to back, but 2 games in a row against the Mavericks. You're probably going to see the Mavericks hanging out around Sacramento.
Oh, definitely.
Because you play them.
Yeah. Tuesday.
You play them on Tuesday. Then you don't play them again until Friday.
Yeah.
So they're just chilling here, gonna grab some. They're gonna be hanging around Doko.
Oh yeah. Catch Luka and Kyrie. I'm trying to think where would be a Kyrie destination here in Sacramento. I was trying. The Scientology building's right down the street.
All
so
right,
maybe
when we get back, we continue the Kings conversation. We also discuss Sabonis and where he is on that MVP ladder, and Sacramento's favorite Draymond Green gives his thoughts on Sabonis being 10-0. Against Anthony Davis. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
National Ping Club Fitter of the Year, Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is introducing the straightest, most forgiving Ping driver ever with the new Ping G430 Max 10K driver. A fixed backweight, Ping's largest head profile, and a carbon fly wrap crown help G430 Max 10K launch the ball higher with less spin for consistently longer and straighter results. Schedule your fitting and see for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue to Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary.
I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by California Army National Guard, Major Wood Home Furnishings, and RVs of Sacramento.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Get ready for your chance to win a $475 gift card by entering Sactown Sports Bracket Challenge on Monday, March 18th. Sponsored by Xfinity. At home or on the go, you'll get the fastest internet to all your devices.
Out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown Sacramento on March 29th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. and Chris will pick the lucky number, and you will join the other winners that we've had this week to see Hassan. And speaking of beautiful downtown, it will be beautiful this weekend. So get out there, go enjoy yourself. Even Chris will be outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch
repeat,
grass.
Chris will be outside. This is from the 530. Coaching is key. Getting back to the conversation as far as the rotation. Coaching is key. The coach can mix it up, and that throws the other teams off. Yes, they are attacking Herter, Fox, etc., but Keon and Davion sneak in consistent shooting, and other teams aren't paying attention. Longtime fan, Mary Francis.
Nice. Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, I mean, just down the stretch here, but especially, in the playoffs, like how Mike Brown decides to go about it. I mean, there's definitely going to be at least one playoff game where somebody, and it doesn't have to just be Kevin Herter, but if we want to use Kevin as the example, we know Kevin and Harrison are probably the most flexible options in that starting lineup. If those two aren't giving it for them in a playoff game, how quickly does Mike Brown go? Because as we know, we say there's no time to mess around now, but of course in the playoffs in a 7-game series, there's really no time to mess around. There's no time to play favorites. There's no time to worry about, if I pull Kevin in game 2, what about his emotions in game 3? You've got to do what you can do to win that game that night. And it will be interesting to see how quick of a hook Mike Brown has with all of those guys. I mean, even Davion, Davion's great, and Keon, both of them, if we know what they bring defensively, but if they're not hitting shots, okay, how does Mike balance the risk reward of what they're giving them defensively versus offensively? It's really a similar game as what he's got to play with Kevin Herter. It's just on the opposite end of the floor.
Yeah. And I would maybe not disagree, but I don't think Fox gets attacked too much.
No.
If anything, he is a plus defensively. He might not always play to as high of a plus as he can be, but I don't see Fox getting attacked too much. Now, it just depends on if he's getting put into action with maybe a bigger guy. But as far as guards are concerned, if the thought is that he could get attacked, that's when you pull in a Keon or somebody like that. Just to Mary saying she's a longtime fan, and to TD Eckler in the Sack chat as well, saying, hi, love the show. Thank you, TD Eckler. And honestly, a lot of you have been rocking with us, and we do some of this stuff on Fridays when we peel back the curtain. But, Chris and I, this is still a pretty young show, Stiles and Watkins, and word of mouth matters. And, we are doing our best to grow this thing, but your opinion matters. Absolutely. And we care about everything that the fans have to say and that the listeners have to say. And also, continue to have the conversation. We only got a couple more months here with the Kings. So tell your friends where you are spending your time between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and pass it along. Let's continue to grow that Sack chat. Let's continue to grow in the car. Let's continue to grow the text line, the call line, all that jazz. So appreciate the love, and don't be shy when talking to your friends about how you spend your middays with the bad boys of the midday. As we continue the conversation, Draymond, more talking, and I can't wait for the summer so we can have conversations just about the landscape of media, because the catalyst of new media has something to say with Draymond giving his thoughts on Sabonis being 10-0 against Anthony Davis.
I see everybody making such a huge deal out of AD being 0-10 facing Sabonis. I actually view that as one of those coincidence type things. Like, do we really believe that Sabonis is better than AD, or could he be a tough matchup? Of course, like everybody has tough matchups, but you also can't make it just about Sabonis and AD, because the reality is Sacramento offense does run through Sabonis, but not in a manner of like, I'm busting your ass or you, but like it ain't that. It's not like mano-a-mano like this record is trying to make it out to be.
But it kind of is, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get this. I mean, and also
it is, but it isn't.
Let's put this important disclaimer out there.
I know what you're going to say.
Draymond Green, clutch client.
Clutch boys.
Anthony Davis, clutch client.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, Draymond Green has a lot of feelings for LeBron James. So
yes.
How much of this is caping for his guy? Mm-hmm. Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
Do you guys think Sabonis is better than AD right now?
No. I mean, like, in terms of like a versatile player, like, I mean, AD, I think, provides a lot. What Sabonis is doing consistently on a nightly basis, absolutely.
But you're saying ceiling, though.
Yeah, I'm saying ceiling, and as a versatile piece.
You're saying AD is more versatile than Sabonis?
I would say so.
I feel like Sabonis is kind of the like epitome of a Swiss Army knife, like Jokic, right? But just that obviously smaller guy. I don't know. I guess I just wasn't expecting you to say that.
I just think AD, like what he provides defensively, is top tier, and then offensively, he can definitely provide. I mean, AD can score 30 points in pretty much any night if
not against Sabonis.
Not against Sabonis for sure, but I mean, let's not,
or Giannis.
I'm
Joel
saying,
Embiid.
I don't want to confuse
or Jokic
play as of late versus like what the individual player is. I think Anthony Davis gives you more as an individual player in terms of optionality of how you want to use him, and I think it's at a higher level. But I think Sabonis brings it every single night. You know exactly what you're going to get out of Sabonis, and I mean, obviously, what he brings is incredibly valuable. But it could also just be, it's your favorite ice cream flavor.
Alex on the Sack chat is saying 1-on-1, no. 5-on-5, yes.
That's probably a really good way of putting it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because I think that's a really good way of saying what I just said, but in a lot better way. So
are they saying 5 Sabonises versus 5 ADs?
No, I think they're just saying in a 5-on-5 setting.
Okay. I just think there's too many variables in that.
Well, no, I mean, it's more just saying you fit. Well, yeah. I mean, even then, you could say orchestrating an offense, absolutely Sabonis. But if you're talking about versatility, I think you could do more with Anthony Davis. You could put him at the 4. You could put him at the 5. Sabonis, you kind of have to put him at the 5. And to do what he's doing now, you also have to put the ball in his hands as much as the ball is being put in his hands. Like you can, like, imagine if Sabonis is playing next to Luka Doncic or something. Like, I don't know if Sabonis is having the same, and Luka might not be the right example, but just a star who has the ball in their hands a good amount more than De'Aaron does. I think AD just kind of fits that mold maybe, or fits in positionally in more places than Sabonis does.
Yeah.
I would rather have Sabonis on this team right here, right now, but I still think AD ceiling wise is the better player.
The problem with the Lakers is that their two best players cannot show up every single night, but their ceiling when they do show up is incredibly high, right? So if it's a 1-game playoff or a 1-game setting, you should take Anthony Davis, but based on if it's Anthony Davis against the field or Sabonis against the field, I think most people would take Anthony Davis. Right. The matchup thing, that's what gets so confusing. I mean, I like Sabonis this season. I'm going to reward him for his consistency and say that I would take Sabonis in over AD. He's been better than AD this season.
He has.
Not, LeBron hasn't won the MVP every year, but he's been the best player for a lot of years. So I think that you can say that Sabonis has been better than Anthony Davis this season, but do you think Sabonis is better than Anthony Davis? Maybe that answer is no.
And to go back onto Draymond's point, though, I will say I don't understand why the players who are on AD's side of this don't seem to factor in to the record that Sabonis is impacting that, because and Draymond kind of acknowledges it with I'm not saying he's not a bad matchup, but it's why, so you don't see how, since Sabonis is the bad matchup, that's leading to the 10-0, because Sabonis is so physical.
It's the most
AD,
important of the matchups.
He's completely changing AD's style of play, which is leading his team, which relies on AD to play at a high level, which Sabonis is preventing through his style of play to lose those games. I don't see how they're not connecting those dots. So numbers are numbers. Like you said, numbers don't lie. 10-0 against AD. You could spin it however you want. The facts are, when Sabonis is out there, AD really struggles to play his normal game, and it really seems to affect how the outcome comes out. So those are the facts of the matter.
Yeah. He lost me when he essentially said that, he's not busting his you-know-what, because he kind of is.
He is.
Right?
That's putting him on the floor.
Yes, that's literally what's happening. So I don't really understand. And again,
it is mono-a-mono. He says it's not a mono-a-mono thing. They're not hiding Sabonis off of AD and vice versa. It is a one-on-one thing.
Well, if that's the case, then pull the matchup numbers. And if the matchup numbers don't match the record, and I'm sure a Lakers fan...
They don't. AD kills Sabonis in the statistics. It's all AD.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah, I looked at it yesterday. It's pretty significantly in AD's favor.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah. We can come back with it at the top of the break.
But that doesn't fit our narrative, so we can go ahead.
That's why I didn't say it.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't heard that before, right? Maybe it's because AD honestly doesn't really have a great brand, to be completely honest.
Here we go.
Hold on, Chris. Okay. When we return, we will get to those numbers, and we will also discuss a beast in Southern California will not be a foe of the Niners anymore. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Pepper. Inside the lane, step back 17. Forgot it, nothing but net for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable.
until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use. I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way, for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Ball forward, take your base.
The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands.
Goodbye, home run.
Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate and get iPad and Apple Watch SE with eligible service plan. Only on Verizon.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Right now, Meta Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2024 half-ton Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drives after rebate. It's a Meta Chevy exclusive.
See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/24.
See all the savings at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Things keep a-changing as the Jaguars and Brandon Aiyuk have mutual interest. But before we break all those things down, Aaron Donald announces his retirement. How you feel about that?
It was really surprising to me. Felt like it came out of nowhere. I remember, I think it was last year we started to hear like whispers of it, but even that didn't make sense. And I know McVay has talked about, leaving after that Super Bowl. Just kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere. I mean, Aaron Donald seems to be in really good shape. I know he hurt his knee or something like that a year ago, but looked fine last year. And I mean, I guess it is just you want to quit while you're ahead, while your body's still intact. And I mean, Aaron Donald's got the Super Bowl. He's got all the accolades. He's, regarded as probably the best defender of this not even probably. He is regarded as the best defender of this generation. So, I guess if he looks at this Rams situation and says, what am I going to play another year to maybe sneak into the playoffs? Like, what, maybe I should just call it a year early.
Yeah, and they've kind of messed with this for a couple years here. The only reason, and it's a little bit similar to Jason Kelce, is that both teams are retooling. right? I mean, the Eagles are definitely retooling, but both teams have an opportunity to mess around and maybe they both already have Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
Do you really care about getting it? They're not quarterbacks, so it doesn't really matter. 1 ring, 2 ring,
Sure.
maybe that's part of it. I know Jason Kelce has been very open about it being hard to see the Eagles make these moves, and it's difficult for him. Aaron Donald, a little bit different. I don't know if he has a podcast or not. If he does,
Not yet.
I haven't. Yeah, if he does, I haven't heard it, but we know Jason Kelce and his bro have one. So yeah, Aaron Donald, I mean, he's been a beast, man. And some of his accolades, like you talked about, he's just been one of those guys. He matched Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt as the only 3-time Defensive Player of the Year honorees and led the way in the Rams winning that Super Bowl. He has that famous, was he I know he's probably not the first one to ever do it, but he has one of the more iconic photos of pointing to the ring finger.
Yeah.
He's got it.
He did it. I think he did it as a sack celebration. I think that's
he did that because that was definitely before Steph did it, and
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody did. And then obviously Angel Reese did it, so I'm sure somebody did it before Aaron Donald. But that's one of the more iconic photos in NFL history.
Yeah, I can picture it in my head.
Yeah, bringing that championship to LA, and they went all in for that season, and it actually worked out for him. And then they go on to get back in the playoffs a couple seasons later. So I know Niners fans got to be happy that he's gone. I saw Kyler Murray hop on Twitter and say, thank God, with a bunch of laughing emojis.
I saw Feliciano say, what a great day. I signed a contract and Aaron Donald retires.
Right. So he was a beast, man. And anytime people react like that, it makes you wonder, should he be done or is he really done? So good on Aaron Donald on an incredible career, and stay there. Stay gone and out of the NFC West as we continue to talk NFC West and Brandon Aiyuk. This is part of this is the NFL. Can't be the hot stove, but whatever you want to call it, the air fryer or whatever you want to call it. Part of that is just all the discussions. But in 1 week, 2 of the Niners wide receivers have been connected to other teams.
Yeah.
You have Debo being connected to the Ravens, and the Ravens GM coming out and saying, hey, that was a bit of a rumor, yada, yada, yada. Now you have Brandon Aiyuk and the Jaguars having mutual interest. This is from Mia O'Brien, a reporter for Jacksonville radio station, seemingly reports some mutual interest between San Francisco wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk and the Jags. And I know you have more on that, Chris, as well.
Yeah, no.
They're the 17 pick.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting just how, if Jacksonville's really down for it. I mean, they're making moves this offseason. I mean, they just signed Eric Armstead, as we know, and I wonder how much of this is Trent Baalke is still heavily involved. I think he's still their GM for the Jaguars. So how much of this is just him kind of looking at the Niners and saying, I would like to take a piece of that because I know what that organization is. I know the kind of guys they bring in, and those are the kind of guys that I want in Jacksonville as they're trying to kind of get over the hump and turn Trevor Lawrence back into that big star that he was coming out of college. It makes sense from their end. It's just how much, John Lynch had some kind words to say about Aiyuk. I think that was at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. He was like, Brandon's one of those guys we think incredibly highly of, one of my favorite guys around our building, the way he approaches the game. He's a competitor. He's a warrior. He plays with such physicality, also with grace in some of the way, some of the positions his body can get into. It's ridiculous. Those are high praise from your GM. So I don't know, they're making it sound like they want to keep Aiyuk around, but with both of their receivers being thrown into these trade rumors, it just makes me wonder from the Niners side, like how much of this is, I know everybody talks across the league. Has it been known, or are people just reading the contract situations and saying the Niners can only keep one of them? Mm-hmm. Just looking at it on paper, do the Niners really want to pay both of their receivers $50 million? I don't know if the word is out from internally that the Niners are saying that, and now other teams are hearing it and saying, hey, let's hop in there before the Piranhas attack, or if it is just people reading the situation and trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, so some of the proposed trades that I saw with the Jaguars and the Niners, it was the first round pick, which is pick 17.
Pick 17, okay.
Yeah, and a third round pick for Brandon Aiyuk. And the question is, if you're a Niners fan, 916-339-1140, pick 17 and a third round pick for Brandon Aiyuk. Would you do it? So that is the pick 96.
And I would think that you're probably using that you're envisioning using one of your first round picks on a receiver, right? I would imagine.
Probably.
Like maybe if I assume Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors will be gone, but you probably look to swoop up the third receiver if you're taking him at 17.
Right.
At 31, you're probably just taking the best of the rest, whichever one is your favorite. I mean, I haven't dove deep into draft research to figure out who the fourth and fifth receiver are, but I think that's kind of the value proposition that the Niners have to play here is, I'll definitely mention it. Hey, I could talk about the Vikings a lot today, but I'm only going to mention this. Mm-hmm. The Vikings traded Stephon Diggs and then used the pick that they got from the Stephon Diggs trade to get Justin Jefferson. That's the model. That's what the Niners, if they are going to make this move, that's the thing that I think they'll probably try and follow. The question you have to ask yourself is, how realistic is it, and how much of that is just the Vikings kind of hit the jackpot there?
Yeah, so that would give the Niners, they would then have pick 17 in the first round, pick 31 in the first round.
Okay.
You can go offensive line at 17 and then a wide receiver at 31.
Right.
And then you would have two picks pretty close back to back. So you have pick 94, which is your pick, and then you would get that pick 96 from the Jaguars. So for Brandon Aiyuk, I think the issue is Brandon Aiyuk and Brock Purdy. And shout out Brock Purdy. I'm sure everybody saw, but he got married.
That's right.
Over the weekend?
Yeah,
last weekend to his college sweetheart. Shout out to the college sweethearts out there. So Brock Purdy, that's been everywhere. Good on him. But that was Brock Purdy's wide receiver sweetheart.
Yeah.
And that was one of the guys who he has a great connection with, really his security blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is the Niners would probably be more willing to move Debo, but Debo has a tougher contract situation. Right. So I don't know that they make this move. You still got Ronnie Bell, who is a different receiver, in my opinion, to Brandon Aiyuk. You got a couple guys that you have, right? Or you could draft a guy. Do you make that move if you're the Niners? Do you feel like you have enough? George Kittle also restructured. Who knows? But I do think this is a conversation that's going to continue to pop up. When we return, Sabonis still in that number 6 spot on the MVP ladder. We also preview the New York Knicks. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you want a deal that's a slam dunk, go see the winning team at Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is your truck headquarters with all your American-made favorites. like America's best-selling F-Series, F-150s, and Super Duties, or spacious new Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford, right here in Sacramento. You can buy any new Ford with zero down on approved credit, save big with low interest finance rates, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Check out the huge selection of inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership to see their most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. They'll help you out. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 35 years and counting.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
With conference championships around the corner, now's the time to register for the Dos Million Bracket Challenge. Sign up now at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Then fill out your bracket before the tournament tips off March 21st.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Fidium Fiber Internet is fast becoming a hometown favorite. With a dedicated connection and speeds up to 2 gigs, Fidium is winning over fans every day. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can experience the best internet in the game. Visit FidiumFiber.com.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
.209 responding to our 209 is responding to our Brandon Aiyuk conversation. Trade him. Anything more than a 4th-round pick is overpaying.
I don't know. I mean, we saw Keenan Allen yesterday go for a 4th-round pick. And Keenan Allen, he's a lot older than Brandon Aiyuk is. Well, I feel like you can get more, especially just with how receivers are valued.
So I guess 209 is saying if they're willing to give you a 1st-round pick,
that's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
What they're saying,
yeah.
Which, I think that's, because you're not going to get better value for that. I mean, then that for Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, again, like in the Vikings example, the Vikings pick that they got for Stephon Diggs even was the 22nd or 23rd pick. So if you're being offered allegedly, what did you say, 17 and another pick on top of that? That's maximizing the value.
That was just projected.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like a first and a third is a no-brainer.
Yeah, right.
You have to do it.
You get more for Aiyuk pretty much than what you traded for McCaffrey almost, right? There. So
you're definitely getting more.
Yeah.
That first round pick. I mean, the first round pick is like gold in the NFL,
17
right?
too? Like that's in the middle of the first
pretty good.
round.
Yeah, just this draft, I don't know.
I mean, even if we wanted to go crazy, I mean, you could package those picks and move up. Like if you really like you can move up into the top 6, top 8 if you package those. I think the Niners would be better off using those as 2 individuals, but it depends what you're trying to do.
So can we play the hypothetical real quick?
Let's do it.
So Aiyuk's gone. Let's say that first round pick happens. Let's just say right now.
Yeah.
So draft hasn't happened yet. It's Debo weather time. Debo is the starter. Kittle's restructured. Jawan Jennings essentially jumps into the number 2 role for the Niners.
Unless they draft a receiver.
Yeah, but
you're saying at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. Yeah. So then Jawan's 2. You got Danny Gray, who's probably, I think his days are numbered with the 49ers. Ronnie Bell kind of jumps into 3. He got some play last year, had a few touchdowns. I think one even from Darnold. The Niners, you think they draft a receiver at 17. My only issue with that is that if they draft a receiver at 17, I don't think he immediately becomes the number 2 guy. Like I don't think that's a draft him. He's Aiyuk's role now or whatever that was, because Shanahan asked so much from the guys. Like we've talked about Aiyuk being in the doghouse for not blocking or whatever it is. I think there's so much to learn and so much you have to take from this scheme and this offense that he wouldn't just fit right in.
No, totally. And I mean, I'm looking at the receiver class here, and even 17, 3 receivers are already supposed to be off the board.
Yeah. And this is another guy who made some random catches in the playoffs. As of right now, he's still on the Niners. He is 31, but Chris Conley,
dude, he's been almost non-existent.
And then he showed up. Then he got targets in the playoffs.
Yeah. It was really weird. I think
in his 9th season.
I think 31. It had to do with injury because Debo did go out in that Packers game.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to say I'm almost positive he had less than 5 catches all year, and it took him forever to get his first catch. He's been around he's one of those Shanahan guys that he loves. So he's been in and out of the practice squad. They'd bring him up. He would get reps on offense, but due to injury or something like that, like when Ray was out or something. But besides that, he's not going to be a factor to the 49ers, in my opinion.
From the 209, a different 209. Keep in mind that this upcoming draft is loaded with wide receivers. It's the strongest position in the draft, so the value of established receivers is down. That's what we spoke about when we were in Vegas, though, and how confusing it is because wide receivers are getting the bag, but at the same time, wide receivers keep coming out.
Right.
So we don't know if it's like the Big Short, if there's going to be a big dip at some point, but they're still getting paid. It's not that I disagree with you, 209, but clearly there's still value. Clearly there's a lot of value with established wide receivers.
Yeah.
Is that value worth a first-round pick?
Well, I think the problem is that, yes, they come out in bunches and it feels like the classes are big, but receiver classes are starting to be like quarterback classes. Again, to take it to let me get it here. The Justin Jefferson draft, there was Henry Ruggs, there was Jerry Jeudy, there was Jalen Reagor, there was, I think, another receiver taken in front of him, and Justin Jefferson, who was like the 4th or 5th receiver taken, ended up being the best one. So even though there is a big crop of them, there's no guarantee that it's going to work out. I mean, we were just talking in the pre-show about the Chiefs signing Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown's another name that was almost a slam dunk, can't miss. And then he's fine. He's okay, but he's not what Brandon Aiyuk is giving you right now.
No, but now he gets to be with Mahomes.
Sure, and that's the argument. But Patrick Mahomes or Brock Purdy is not Patrick Mahomes.
Right. That's a good point. But yeah, there is the relationship aspect of this as well. From the 831, if they shed Aiyuk's contract via trade, that puts the Niners back in play to make a move for Patrick Surtain from Denver. That's a good point, 831, because George Kittle also restructured either today or yesterday. A couple guys have restructured, and let's just say the Niners universe really believes that something big is happening either today or this weekend. Now, maybe that's just optimism, but Surtain has been a name that has come up to be that shutdown guy for the Niners. So we'll see how it all plays out. Chris, you did have the actual Anthony Davis versus Sabonis numbers, which I'm really surprised we have not seen, or maybe I'm lucky enough to not be a part of Lakers Twitter, but I haven't seen any of these numbers. And as if they are anything like you say they are, numbers don't lie, but maybe the record does.
Yeah. So if you want to, you can look at it in a couple different ways. You can do the per game, you could do the per 36, all that stuff. We'll just do the per game thing for now. In the 10 games in which they've played, Sabonis has only started 9. It is important to remember Anthony Davis was the number 1 pick in the draft. Domantas Sabonis was a guy who took a couple years and a couple trades to eventually get his footing in the league. But nonetheless, Anthony Davis in those 10 games, 33 minutes played, he averages 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 of those offensive, and they don't have his shooting percentage, but in those games, in those 10 games as well, Domantas Sabonis 13 points to Anthony Davis's 23. He's at 10.6 rebounds per game, so technically less than AD. And yeah, I mean, he takes about half of the attempts as well. If you want to do per 36 to try and even everything out, still ends up in Anthony Davis's favor. AD 25 points to Sabonis's 18, 11 rebounds to Sabonis's 12. And even the assist category, Sabonis is at 5.6, Davis is at 2.6. And here we have free throw or field goal percentage. AD's 52% in their matchups. Sabonis is 55. So it's nothing crazy. I mean, AD has the better stats, and it's not like AD completely falls off a cliff. Like, it's not like he's shooting in the 40s or anything. But statistically, I mean, and AD in those games, let me see if they have his blocks, 2.3 blocks per game to Sabonis's 0.5. So again, AD is providing both sides of the floor. He's filling up the stat sheet. It is.
So is it a bad matchup or not?
No, I think it is a bad. I mean, and if you look at, because the thing is here, they have the game logs. If you look at since he's joined Sacramento, it's a lot more even. They've had 4 matchups. I won't go through all of them, but essentially they're stalemating in a lot of the points. Sabonis is usually killing him in the rebound department. And then in the assist, of course, Sabonis has the edge there, but AD is, he's still got a couple 4-block games, a couple 3-block games in there. But yeah, I mean, I would still say it's a bad matchup, but AD just isn't dominant in those games. You don't see any. AD doesn't have, he has 1 performance over 30 points since Sabonis has really entered into like actually playing. Like, there's 4 matchups here where Sabonis has logged 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 25 minutes during his rookie season, and 28 minutes once. So, I mean, AD in a lot of those is playing 43, 36, 32. He's playing tons of minutes, and he's got a 37 piece, a 34 piece, a 38 piece in there really early in his career. So you could argue that more so in the beginning of his career, AD really took advantage, but since Sabonis has kind of grown into his own, it's been a little bit more of a stalemate between the two.
Okay.
But I think the problem is AD is supposed to be, from everybody else's perspective,
right?
AD is supposed to be head and shoulders better than, no pun intended.
Yes.
He's supposed to be head and shoulder better than Sabonis. And for the most part, when they match up, it's pretty neutralized.
Could you say, that maybe pound for pound based on expectations, Sabonis has been better? Is that what it is?
For sure.
Even though maybe straight, it's almost, it's like a handicap in golf.
Yes.
Right. I
Yeah.
may have played better than my buddy who is a scratch golfer or somebody that shoots in the 70s. He's better than me.
Right.
but I am performing better than him based on expectations.
Right, exactly. Definitely. But I will also say there is some, especially again, recently, there's some tangible numbers that show Sabonis is giving it to AD. The last 3 times they've played, AD 3 of 9, 33%. The game last week, AD 5 of 13, 38%. On Wednesday, AD 17 of 18, 38%. So that's 3 straight games Sabonis has held him under 40% from the field.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Right. And maybe it is what Draymond is saying, the team and how things are kind of moving and grooving for the team. But we're still going to ride for Domantas Sabonis, of course. And that's why he is still number 6 in the MVP ladder. And AD is nowhere to be found.
Nope, nowhere to be found at all.
And just from a consistent standpoint, I think for me, because it's gotten to double digits, that is why it doesn't matter. It does matter if AD was putting up monster games, but he's not.
He's not. No.
If he was putting up monster games and losing, the problem is even if you're canceling out and you can't even dial in for one game to beat a dude that you have not been able to beat throughout your career. And the other thing is, it's not, as we discussed, it isn't just Sabonis.
No.
It's the other big boys, no pun intended, in the league that he has not shown up against. When we return, we preview the New York Knicks and discuss the keys to the game. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just
and you get something that doesn't taste as good as maybe you thought it would, you might say or try to convince yourself that this is good. So take with that what you will. Take with that what you will. As we continue the conversation, don't forget, in 45 minutes, you will have an opportunity to win tickets to see Hassan Minaj at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown Sacramento on March 29th. You will have an opportunity at 1 p.m. M, breaking down all things Kings and the Knicks, who are going to do battle tomorrow night. The Knicks are 5-5 in their last 10 games. They are 14-2 since acquiring OG Anunoby, who will be playing, most likely will be playing tomorrow night. You worried about the Knicks? What's your worry meter at?
I am worried that we're going to see the same game that we saw last year, where the Knicks just dominated the offensive glass, and it was truly demoralizing. I mean, we ended up seeing it in the playoffs, and I've talked about it all the time about how it was seeing how you die before you actually die. And that's exactly how it played out. It was incredibly frustrating. That was the day I realized how effective offensive rebounds can be, and just how demoralizing it can be for your team, because it just feels helpless, and it felt helpless in that game. So honestly, as long as it doesn't feel like that again, that's really my only worry for this game, is that it starts to feel like the Kings just cannot grab a rebound to save their life.
Josh Hart,
Isaiah Hartenstein. I mean, the problem is the Knicks have only gotten better. They've only gotten more people who attack the offensive glass. Precious Achiuwa is a freaking lunatic attacking the glass. He'll have games where he has like 11 rebounds, but 8 will be offensive. And it's just, I don't know how you try. I mean, you got to put an emphasis on boxing out. Again, taking it back to the fundamentals. It's boxing out. It's saying, forget about the ball. If you find a man, the ball will find a person.
Yes.
But you just got to make sure your guy isn't the one getting it. So they got to be good at crashing. Also, I mean, if the Knicks are going to crash the offensive glass, Kings got to play fast. You got to take advantage. If Josh Hart is going to close in and try and get every offensive rebound, that means somebody needs to be taking off on the other end and trying to get in transition. So those are really the two things, is transition points and offensive rebounds. You have to limit the offensive rebounds. You've got to get as many transition opportunities as possible.
Yeah, you do not want that Knicks defense to be able to set up, and
that's true too, right?
Just grind you down. That's what they want to do. And keeping teams under 80 points is crazy, Chris.
It's impossible.
Not 100, not 90, but 80 points. They have done that a couple times here in this stretch. And the only issue for them has been their ability to score the basketball. And it feels like the Kings are finally rounding out defensively. So it's really going to be a juggernaut situation, and who is going to push and pull. The Knicks are 8th in defensive rating, by the way.
8th. I mean, that's kind of what they do. I mean, that's their brand, man, especially, if OG is going to be playing, and they're going to try and lock down and be as physical as possible. I mean, this might be an opportunity for the Kings to maybe get the free throw advantage, because the Knicks are just going to look to beat the hell out of you. I mean, it's what they do. They're a physical team. They're trying to take it back to the 90s and of their glory days. In the same way, the Kings want to replicate the ball movement, the exciting play, fast motion. The Knicks style of basketball is almost the complete counter opposite of it. And it'll be interesting to see how those two styles clash too. Like one team is going to be able to dictate the pace. And again, it's kind of on the Kings to get the pace up, because the Knicks they're going to slow it down every time. It's easy to play slow. You just bring that thing down, bring the ball down, let your offense set up, let the people move. It's going to be on the Kings to make sure when they get the ball, they're pushing. And then on the defensive end, you got to have as much ball pressure as possible. You want the Knicks passing the ball around, getting out of their flow. And I mean, at that point, again, you just got to make sure that you're not allowing them to get second, third opportunities. I mean, I'm looking at it here. It looks like a broken number, but the Knicks had 23 offensive rebounds in that game last year, which was the highest that the Kings allowed all year. Mitchell Robinson, who won't be playing, he's out for the season, he had 6. Josh Hart had 8. He had 8 offensive rebounds last year in that game. Isaiah Hartenstein in 24 minutes grabbed 4. So, I mean, again, it's just Sabonis is the best rebounder in the league. Yeah. Not really concerned about him, but we saw even in the playoffs, like if Sabonis is going to try and box out Looney, it's on everybody else to crash the glass. It's got to be Harrison Barnes. We cannot have a Harrison Barnes 2-rebound game. Keegan the other day had 11 boards. We need more of that. If Kevin Huerter is going to be playing, he's had a couple games where he's rebounded. Need all of those guys focusing on rebounds as much as possible, because that's almost like the Knicks version of getting to the free throw line. It's the Knicks version of shooting 43s is, hey, we might not be a great offense, but if you give us multiple cracks at it, we'll make the shot eventually. And you got to limit their style of play as much as possible.
Do you think that this is an opportunity? I'm just thinking as far as defensively. Number one, we don't know. Whenever a knee is involved, you worry as far as Trey Lyles. But even if he is available, do you think, not that we have not seen the Sabonis and Alex Len or Sabonis and JaVale McGee, I don't think at all this season. No. And I'm wondering if that was a conversation we had before the season started. I'm wondering if maybe you don't see that, but you see the return of a JaVale and see more of Alex Len, just to get some bigger bodies in there to make sure you can get these rebounds taken care of.
Definitely. And first off, I mean, I'm curious if Sabonis is going to be on the injury report. We saw him bang knees with LeBron, and he finished the game, but it wouldn't surprise me if he at least shows up on the injury report. But yeah, I mean, assuming Sabonis is going to play, which he's done every single game. I would definitely love it. I would welcome it a lot, because I think that's the best way. We talked to Alex Len about it actually on media day. Me and Whitey did. We asked him, hey, how are you guys going to adjust after what Kevon Looney just did to you guys to kick you out of the playoffs? What do you think is going to be this year's counter to that? Alex Len said, well, we've been messing around with playing some 2 center lineups. I don't think we've seen it once this entire season, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see it against the Knicks, because it just makes so much sense. And again, their rebounding is the thing that will keep them in that game. So if you can limit that, however it's done, it might not look pretty, but I just think if you eliminate the Knicks rebounding advantage, you're probably going to win the game.
Yeah, and of course there is Jalen Brunson and containing Jalen Brunson, and that's going to be difficult. I mean,
another 40-piece last night.
Yeah, we were talking about Hunter Renfrow, who was released from the Raiders, and hey, why does he punt return? Oh, because he's shifty. And I would say that that's a great word to describe Jalen Brunson as well. He can stop, he can start, he can really just put you in a position where you don't feel comfortable. So we will break down why Jalen Brunson is so hard to defend. Also, some pocket watching when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Truck Month?
Right now, save up to $16,500 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Laramies. One of the nicest, most capable trucks you can buy with the biggest savings of the year. This is huge, and we have over 200 available.
Okay, so why choose Hoblet?
We do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or hidden fees. And we've become California's #1 new Ram truck dealer. At Hoblet, you'll get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
If you're looking for a truck, Hoblet should be your first and only stop. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,500 total net savings after $10,500 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,000 case construction rebate. Must have purchased qualifying new case equipment from an authorized case dealer and $500 first responder bonus cash. Must be a member of qualifying first responder association. 10 at this net savings. See dealer for details.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found ya.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by California Army National Guard, Major Wood Home Furnishings, and RVs of Sacramento.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We are 30 minutes away from your chance to win tickets to Hassan Minaj. All guests and callers join us in the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Emmy is wanting to know, one of our P1s, Emmy's wanting to know any update on Sasha. Not that we've heard. We are hoping to hear from Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli today. A shoot-around is probably over now.
Almost
it's
getting
over.
Started. It's just
It's getting started. So hopefully we hear from
and
Brendan Frankie. But
pretty much exactly March 9th was the 4-week mark for the 4 to 6 week reevaluation period for Sasha. So we are
we're at the 6-week mark.
4 week.
Okay.
We are at the 4 week. Saturday, March 9th was the 4-week mark for Sasha's last update, and they said it would be 4 to 6 weeks for the next update. So, I guess it could, in theory, be happening anytime now, but I would probably suspect it'll be more towards the back end of that 6th week.
And then after that, just doing a quick fast forward here, assuming that the Kings make some moves during the offseason, what does that do to Sasha's status, right? I mean, when this season ends, unless Sasha comes back and is just shooting the lights out, right? Unless that happens, you go into next season, and what does this organization know about Sasha Vezenkov?
He's a shooter for sure. I mean, he's a guy who you can throw in and can definitely knock down some shots and is fearless about taking them. Absolutely. I mean, that's that is the one thing that was promised about Sasha that did not disappoint at all. Is he is a legitimate shooter. He walked in day one as the best shooter on this team. We haven't necessarily seen it completely play out on the floor, but I mean, from everything I heard, even they had a board up there that got replaced with their free throw board, which we have not heard much from since. But that board used to have the leader. It was a leaderboard of their shooting drill that they did all summer long, and Sasha was number one by far. I think they said he set a team record, as a matter of fact, while they had, I guess it's just the past 2 seasons, but had set a team record for the highest score on that drill. So he is a legitimate shooter, 1,000%. It's just the defense that we got to figure out. And even then, the defense was a lot better than what I think most people expected. I think a lot of people were expecting Sasha to just be a turnstile and look lost on defense. And I can't really think of many times, if any, where Sasha was out there and I was like, this guy is just getting abused. Now, it wasn't like they were hunting him like we've seen them hunt
we
Kevin Huerter.
never saw enough of him for that to happen.
Right. But just the baseline of, is he unplayable defensively? Like I thought it was fine, if not even more than fine. So we'll have to see with the larger sample size, but for the most part, I wouldn't mind seeing Sasha be given the same equal opportunity that he was given this year.
Well, I think it's going to be equal, but I guess my point is it's not going to be more. If the idea, depending on how this thing ends, the idea is that the Kings are going to upgrade in certain positions that are already getting more time than Sasha. I guess it just goes back to what the hope of Sasha was.
I mean, I still think he can be a flamethrower. Like, I don't think Mike Brown played him. I would say Mike Brown didn't play him enough. I'm not like super upset about it. Like, I'm not somebody who says like, if we played Sasha more, maybe we'd have X amount more wins. But I think that there's a role for him for sure. I mean, especially with the inconsistency from 3 that we saw from Keegan and Kevin Huerter this year. And, HB just didn't take a high volume of them. I think that there's a place for Sasha. And if Trey Lyles isn't, we've seen him here recently kind of turn down a lot of threes. I still think the Kings could use a lineup where they just go all out shooting. So I still feel like there's a role for him. And man, I mean, if he's hitting threes at like a 40+% clip, you can't keep him off the floor, even if you do feel bad about his defense. So I think, it really is more like a situation with Kevin Huerter. I think that's how you treat Sasha. Obviously not in a starting role, but just if his shots are hidden, he's going to play. But if his shots aren't falling, that's where you start to see some of the other warts in his game. And again, I just don't think we saw enough of him this season to really get a full picture of exactly how good his offense is versus how bad maybe his defense actually is.
I hope for his sake he does at least get to come back before the season ends.
Yeah.
Because he's going to need it going into this summer.
Yeah.
Right? That can't be, I can't even remember the last time we saw Sasha. So you need to see him. You need to get a better look. And it would be great to get a look at him closer to the playoffs.
But it's also like he made a big move this year. Like, let's not forget this dude moved across the world and didn't have any friends, didn't have family that moved out with him. Like, there was an adjustment period that did take place just in terms of life. And I do think that has something to do with like just feeling comfortable, getting acclimated to everything. And like, we'll see. I mean, we'll just see what a whole year of comfortability does for him. I mean, it does wonders for rookies in general. We can't forget Sasha is still technically, even though he's 28, he is still technically a rookie for the NBA. And the NBA, in terms of lifestyle, is not like overseas. Like, I'm sure that took a really big adjustment period too. So there's just not a lot of things working in Sasha's favor coming into it. And I just think it's a little early to give up.
No, yeah. I don't want to give up. I hope to see him again before the season ends and see him in a positive capacity. As we move over to Team Lefty, speaking of Jaylen Brunson and what makes him so difficult to contain. You're going to put him on Ellis Island, I would think. Here's a question, and not to...
You can put Davion on him even.
You can put Davion on him because he's a smaller guy, but I like the length. Unless you think that Keon's not quick enough, I would prefer the length.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just mean like in general, like this is you don't just have to look at Keon for that option. You can also put Davion. Like this is one of the few instances where it's almost like the perfect Davion matchup to put him on. So I might not let that opportunity go by the wayside for an opportunity for Davion to start feeling good about himself too, because Keon's already feeling good about himself, and Davion has played great as of late, but this would be a nice little, hey, don't forget about me kind of thing for Davion here. But yes, absolutely. Keon makes tons of sense to throw on Brunson and just trying to make it difficult for him. He's definitely fallen into that guy of the coach cliche of you're not going to be able to stop him, but it's about slowing him down, not letting him get to his spots and all that. And it's tough when you're going against a smaller guy. They do usually have a bit of shiftiness. They usually do have a first step advantage as well. So it's just about really keeping him in front of you. And I mean, ideally, again, like we talked about earlier, if the Kings are going to dictate the style of play, don't let him go off. You can't let him get free. I think the 3-pointers are going to be huge for him. Like if you can defend the perimeter as well as they've been defending these last 2 games, it seems like they should be able to slow a guy down like Jaylen Brunson. He really doesn't, with the Kings' newfound perimeter defense, it does feel like this is a matchup where the Kings really should dictate everything that goes on.
Yeah. I hope that you don't see a blitz tomorrow, because to me, a blitz means that something has gone wrong.
Sure.
And to be completely honest, now that I think about it, ever since Keon has been in the lineup, when is the last time we saw a blitz?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been it's been those 2 games we didn't really see any, but we'll see. I mean, because we haven't talked about him yet either, but Dante DiVincenzo, I've got him circled for tomorrow's matchup because I think I talked about it earlier.
Oh, is this a mini revenge game?
This is not a mini. This is a big revenge game for Dante. It's going to be on the Kings floor. He's playing the best basketball he's maybe played in his entire career. This is an opportunity for Dante DiVincenzo not to tell the Kings this is what you missed out on, but to say you guys did me dirty, and it's actually like kind of lit a fuel to my fire, or set a fuel to my fire for these past couple years. I am the guy that I am today because of what you guys did to me a couple years ago. It wouldn't surprise me if Dante's got something locked up for the Kings. For people who don't know, who haven't been paying attention, Dante DiVincenzo this season is shooting 39% from 3 on 8.1 attempts. He has been, honestly, like, I think he's got the second most threes in the NBA behind Steph Curry in terms of totals. He has been an absolute sniper this season. And something tells me he's going to have a little something for the Kings.
Which has been really, really fascinating, because after he left the Kings and goes to the Warriors, he wasn't really that. You have different weapons on the Warriors, right? You still had Jordan Poole at that point and Andrew Wiggins. So he was in a different role.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget, I hop on one of our, because I'm not watching every single Knicks game, and the last thing I remember from Dante DiVincenzo is he couldn't hit anything in the playoffs for the Warriors, and then he goes off and joins Team Villanova in New York, and then I'm getting ready for prop talk, I'll put it to you like that, and I see him set at 18 and a half points. I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Hop on League Pass, and I've been watching the Knicks these last couple weeks, and I'm thinking, this is a completely different dude.
Yes.
He was essentially, he shot more, but he was kind of like Josh Hart on the Warriors. He was that kind of that gritty dude on the Warriors. And then he comes to the Knicks, and part of that being because the Knicks offensively needed help, but now he's just pulling.
Yeah, he's pulling. I'm looking at his game log here. There is so many games, like more games than any human should have, of 15 3-point attempts. Let me see here. In Dante DiVincenzo's last 19 games, he's averaging 21 points per game. Shout out Dante. He's shooting 41% from the field. Not great, but it's because he's taking 18 shots a game. 12 and a half of those are threes, which he's knocking down at 37%. There is 6 games of his last 19 in which he's taken over 15 threes, and there's like 2 or 3 in which he's taken 14.
That's insane.
So he's just putting them up like a madman. And, it's working out for him. I guess, it is threes more than two, and the points per possession, I'm sure, equal out. But that dude is pulling, and he's been a problem. I mean, he is the Knicks. Him and Brunson are really the Knicks offense here. Like with Julius Randle out, they don't really have many guys to go to. And their guards are the big reason why they are even able to score more than 80 points, more than their opponents these days. So it's on the Kings. I mean, like I said, we found this new 3-guard lineup, and a lot of the advantages of this 3-guard lineup are the ability to pressure the ball. That's going to be tested on Saturday. For sure.
Shooters Arena.
Yep. That's what.
Hopefully not tomorrow night. When we return, a little bit of pocket watching. What is on tap this weekend? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years with plenty of close by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Sacramento, get ready for a lineup that's not just hitting home runs, but delivering laughs and legendary tunes. It's the Sactown Sports live events calendar, where entertainment takes center stage. First up, on March 22nd, get ready for a night of hilarity as the comic genius Hannibal Buress takes the spotlight at the historic Crest Theater. And on March 23rd, the laughs keep coming with a one and only Dimitri Martin at the Crest Theater. It's a comedy doubleheader that's sure to score big with your funny bone. Visit livenation.com or Ticketmaster to score your tickets. And don't miss the Jacksons with Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine with all your favorite hits, plus Sister Sledge and the Tramps, all March 30th at Thunder Valley. But wait, sports fans, the excitement doesn't end there. On August 4th, the Outlaw Music Festival rides into the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a musical grand slam you won't want to miss. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
You will have a chance to win tickets to Hassan Minaj at Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center. That is March 29th, thanks to Live Nation. Chris Watkins will pick the number. So here's my question, guys. So I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game tomorrow with another couple.
Okay.
Right? And very close.
This is your friend we were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy was in my wedding. We're boys, right? We're close. My question is 4 seats in a row, right? How should we approach the seating arrangement? So he's my friend, right? The wife and his fiance know each other through us, but we've known each other for years. Yeah. So I'm closing my eyes and I'm imagining if you go 2 guys, 2 gals, then somebody is going to be really far from the other person.
Right.
Do you sacrifice the ladies?
How close are the ladies? Like in terms of like, I mean,
they're not
best friends like you guys are.
No, they don't text each other or send each other Instagram videos. But whenever you see each other, it's all
copacetic.
Yes,
I would say. I feel like you and your buddy have to sit next to each other.
Have to.
Like I feel like that's why everyone's here, right? Like you're all there because you guys are friends, and this is probably a you guys led activity.
I'm thinking it's got to be me.
I would just sandwich you guys in the middle,
and then have the ladies on both the outside. You can't have them on the outside.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like add awkward tension that's not there, but like you want there to be a buffer of like, hey, I can talk to my friend, and like if my lady needs me to talk or whatever, like if she's not having a good like they're
driving up. They're driving up from.
I just wouldn't want to force your wife and your friend's wife to have.
It wouldn't be awkward. They both are into sports, so I'm thinking it's got to be me, him, his fiance, and I just sacrifice my wife, and we're just on completely opposite sides. Hey, I'll see you in a couple hours.
I think you might need to talk to your wife about that.
Even if
I don't think it shouldn't be like that big of a deal, but it's just like a hey, like, are you cool? This is what I was thinking. Like, hey, I really want to like because your friend doesn't live in town, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's a situation where no matter what, you and your friend have to sit next to each other. I would just ask your wife, honestly. I would ask, would you rather sit next to her or would you rather sit next to me?
And then it's all gonna happen so fast once you get there.
That's true too, right? Yeah. You all have these plans. You start like,
and then you start wiggling. You start
doing that.
Did you want? Oh, it's like when we go to a restaurant. Oh, did you want? And you sit.
Yeah.
You want to sit there? Farmer Bleezy 22 says Alan and your buddy are sitting in the middle and ladies on the side.
That's what I said.
But they're so far removed. They live together. We live together. They drove up. They can chit chat.
Ladies on the inside, boys on the outside.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That is not happening, Nate.
Man.
I mean, I would just ask your wife in like a like you can even preface it as, I'm not saying you don't like her, but like, do you want to sit next to her for the 2.5 hours, or would you rather sit next to me?
We already went to a game
because she can kind of do her own thing. If she's next to you, she doesn't have to worry about like, oh, like let me make sure she's having a good time. Let me socialize with her.
But I can't stress enough that we saw each other a lot. So we're
you being the friend group, seen each other.
Yes, so it would not be awkward. It would not be awkward.
This is an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
This 1,000%.
916 says, "Ask your wife," but yes, that's the right order. I think 916 is saying the 2 and 2. I don't know, or the 2 and 2 men in.
I would definitely just ask her if she's comfortable sitting next.
What if I don't want to ask her?
Well, then.
Okay, well, now you're just causing problems.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know, dude.
I'll ask.
I have a party I'm going to
don't
tomorrow.
Get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. I'm just, I guess I'm in a similar
tomorrow night. Nate's going to a party.
I'm in a similar situation tomorrow, I guess. Awkward. Curb.
Let's hear it.
It's just, if anyone's listening, I don't want to hurt any feelings and have a blow up.
You're the one who said
it into a thing.
I don't want to go. Plain and simple. Saturdays are rough for me. I'm always complaining to everyone here about Saturdays. I got a rough Saturday.
You do have a tough Saturday.
Yeah, so
you would like to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I don't like St. Patrick's Day. I hate corned beef.
Oh, see, I had no idea.
Yeah. So
Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
By the way, so it's technically Sunday, but everybody's going to be outside.
Yeah, dude.
That's a nightmare. No, dude, I'm on your side, Nate. Absolutely not.
The only thing that's cool is they have an open bar bartender they hired.
So,
but I'm limited with the people I know.
In St. Patty's Day stuff?
Dude,
of course. You might not know it yet, but
Nate, you give a lot. You're at Target. Yeah. There's a lot.
I love that you said thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying here, dude.
Yeah, cut that.
I know. I'm trying here, dude. I appreciate it.
916 says your friend, fiance, wife. Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, 916 from Family Schlegel. I highly recommend not asking your wife for her opinion.
What's that about?
That guy's name is Family Schlegel.
I think they're being sarcastic. Yeah. Also, Patrick Donaldson, you could always switch it up at halftime.
Oh, there you go. There's the best.
Patrick.
What's gonna happen though is like you said, dude. It's a heat of the moment thing. You can plan all you want,
because then
but
you have
once
to walk in.
once you get punched in the mouth, the game plan changes. Game plan's out the window.
Now I'm overthinking this.
Yeah.
Chris knows I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
So then you have to walk in the you have to walk in the
down
order
the stairs, right?
of how you want to sit.
Yeah, you.
Oh wait,
let me go first.
Which starts outside the arena at the security guard,
and you know it's going to be a big crowd in there. If someone gets in the way, dude,
it's done. It's done. And then hey, don't go yet. Hold on. She was supposed to go.
And someone's like, I'm going to go get a drink. You're like, no, we're going to sit first, and then you go get your drink.
Yeah. You guys want something? No, I do not. No,
and you don't either.
That wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah. See, now I'm already getting anxiety over this. It's supposed to be a good time.
I know.
Be a good time watching the
Why
Kings
are
and Knicks.
social events like this,
Dude,
man?
Social
Why can't
anxiety
we just
is a real thing.
do you think? Yeah.
And then I got to text her. I got to text my wife. Hey, are you good with this?
Right. Well, maybe.
Is that how? Yeah.
You know what? I think you're just in a lose-lose situation.
That's right.
I think there's
so
no
is
way
Nate.
you can win.
Nate's got to eat.
I know.
I
don't like corned beef and cabbage. I don't like pastrami.
Yeah.
I know pastrami's like similar to corned beef, so that's the reason I say that.
So
I'm
that's
just
what you
not
have
a
to
fan.
eat tomorrow?
I'm assuming, yeah, and I just
potatoes.
Yeah, my dad likes to go hard for St. Patty's Day too on Sunday.
Ugh.
So he always does corned beef every year. I'm like, dude, I don't like, and he's like, we're making it's gonna be so awesome. And I'm like, dude,
it's so overrated.
I just hate it.
Yeah.
So random enough, what was it? Maybe 3-4 years ago, me and my wife and I, we were in Roseville for St. Patty's Day. We drove to Roseville.
That is random.
That is so random.
25-year-olds just tearing up Roseville. And just tearing up the Ville. It was a great time. We went.
I think the Rose is a little better, but the Ville's cool.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what if I'm able to say what's the main thing, and everyone can read between the lines here. Sometimes they're a sponsor, and they have a really great venue. It's really the main thing in Roseville. We were.
All I'm thinking of is the Galleria.
Sunsplash.
I don't know
Yeah.
if we can discuss.
What are you talking about?
It's got a really good venue at the venue.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And there's lightning.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So
there we go.
That's
Okay.
where
That's Lincoln, but
So we tried our luck out there.
Okay.
And then after that, we tore up the Ville, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot because you have roots to that place when we were first talking.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
that's our second home. That's our
That's good. That's
right
awesome,
there.
man.
From
Congrats.
Steven,
Yeah, I'm right there with you,
916.
Steven.
You're putting way too much thought into this.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do.
1,000%.
That is what we
That's
do.
who you are, though, Alan. And I'm
That's
glad
right.
you own. Like you're just. Honestly, you're just you 24/7.
Yeah,
Honest Alan.
well,
That's what they
Honest
call him.
Alan.
Honest.
You say
Alan.
some of the funniest things I've ever heard in my
Well,
life.
you know,
That is definitely true.
Honest Alan. I'm not like Dave though. Got to see Honest Dave in person. I don't know if you saw
Honest Dave?
that
No.
picture. Honest Abe
Oh,
when he
You're
saw
talking about
Abraham
him
Lincoln.
sitting in front of the Lincoln statue.
Yes, it was a very good picture.
Are we talking about Dave's Instagram?
Yes,
Yes.
we are
Oh
talking.
my god, dude, he does it wrong. He
What?
uploads like Twitter.
Oh, you
No,
he
said
doesn't
that,
do.
yeah.
He uploads like someone like Dave would upload. That's what I would say.
I
When we
get it, yeah.
return, we're pocket watching. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports. timeshare trap and think there's no way out? Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement, then it's a lifetime commitment. If you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshares. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments. And after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Okay, pull over, sit down, stop what you're doing because you're about to be blown away. I shopped Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and wow, I saved 20% with my coupon on really great picks for spring, like a cute dress for just $23.99. Plus I got my husband a polo for under $11, but that's not it. Then I saved 40% on Easter outfits for my kids and earned Kohl's cash. So yep, it's official. Kohl's is the best. Select styles, 20% offer ends March 17th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
In a couple minutes here, we will be doing our Hassan Minaj giveaway. Last chance.
Last opportunity. You got one shot
to seize everything you ever wanted and see local legend Hassan Minaj doing some pocket watching in the meantime. And we will get back to the giveaway. Nate is handling some other phone calls right now. And the Suns lost to the Celtics. I mean, Chris, I gotta say, you've been right so far. Not that it would be very hard to be right, but just based on how tough of a schedule the Suns have. But yeah, they've lost both to the Celtics. They get a break today, albeit a back-to-back. Interested to see if they sit anybody. They can't afford to, but I think they're hoping they just beat the brakes off the Hornets and maybe get a fourth quarter or something like
Hornets
that.
Hornets are tough, man. They are. They've gotten a lot tougher since the trade deadline.
Yeah, they will. They're at least annoying.
Yes,
they're
exactly.
At the very least annoying. That's really the main one. If you want to connect the dots here, though, I would say the main one, is Clippers at Pelicans.
Yeah, definitely.
And Clippers at Pelicans is one that obviously somebody will gain a game, but it would be nice to be in the conversation for the 4 seed, but imagine talking about a 5 seed just last week. So I think you got to root for the Clippers there and hope to bump the Pelicans down a little bit. Once again, we will continue to break all those things down, but let's get to the giveaway. And Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see local legend Hassan Minaj at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown Sacramento on March 29th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. Looking for caller number
3. I want you to get in quick.
Caller number 3, go, go, go to score that pair of tickets to pull up for Hassan's comedy homecoming. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Gotta go quick. They're coming in now. 916-339-1140. Your chance to see Hassan Minaj, local legend at Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center from beautiful downtown.
I see a winner.
Sacramento. And I see you, Steven. We're gonna let Nate handle the contest first. Don't want to get any wires crossed. No pun intended. Yeah, and the Clippers, they have been kind of hot and cold here looking back. They beat the Bulls. They lost to the Timberwolves. They lost to the Bucks. They beat the Bulls. They got lucky. They got to play the Bulls a couple times. They beat the Rockets. They lost to the Bucks. They beat the Timberwolves. They're really just playing the same teams over and over again. It feels like. Real quick, Chris, have you seen an update on Kobe White? Because I have not.
No, I haven't.
And Kobe White.
That's right. Yeah, he took that nasty
Tuesday.
fall.
That was Tuesday, I believe. It was a really bad fall. I didn't even watch it, as Brendan was showing us, because I don't get down like that. I don't like seeing it. But apparently it was really bad. So good thoughts for Kobe White and everything going on there. It's so tough to get to the end of the season, and then you got to deal with some gruesome injuries.
This is from Woj yesterday. He says MRI revealed a mild hip strain. Let's see here. Could return to lineup as soon as Saturday.
Wow.
So again,
your theory. You're on fire.
I'm just saying. If the worse it looks, the better it probably is for the diagnosis. I don't know why it's that case, but I feel like unless you see some bone, unless you see some exposed bone,
right,
then it feels like for the most part, the worse it looks, the better diagnosis might actually be.
Okay, as it looks like Nate has just found his winner. Thank you to everybody for participating, and if you won throughout this week, congrats to you. And I already got the information for the next giveaway. I won't tell you who.
It's a good one.
Got to tune in on Monday for your chance. I'll give you this, another comedian.
Yes.
You will have another chance next week, because that's what we do here. We like to give back to our listeners. Let's get to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
Happy Friday to you, man. You got to go in there with that BDE. You know what I'm saying? You go in there with the BDE, all right? And you just tell them, like, hey, babe, look, listen, check it out. Homie, look, homie's wife, look. Here's what we're going to do. I'm sitting here, and then you're going to sit there, and you're going to sit there, and we're all going to be happy, and we're all just going to have a good time together, because it doesn't matter where we sit as long as we're all together and we're here enjoying ourselves.
Boom. Boom. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven. Have a good weekend.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
Somewhere in the middle is the answer, not in the middle of everybody, but
that tends to be the answer.
That tends to be the answer. And
good luck with
congrats
that one.
to the winner. Thank you, Steven. Happy Friday.
Shout out, Ken.
As we continue the conversation on pocket watching. Yeah, so Clippers have struggled a little bit, kind of beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, lost to the teams that maybe when they were really rolling, they would have beaten. And the Pelicans, man. I'm so sick of the Pelicans.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of the Pelicans.
Their schedule's not hard either. It's really annoying.
Well, that's why we weren't really having a conversation about 5 anymore.
Right.
Even though
Kings are only a game back.
They are only
sitting one game back, and that game in April could be huge. Could be huge. Of course, the Kings won't own the tiebreaker, but if New Orleans and the Kings are tied at that point, it can be a big swing.
So let's assume the Pelicans lose tonight, which they could easily win as well. They get to host the Blazers next.
Tomorrow.
They get
the day after. Yeah.
The day after. At least it's a back-to-back. They have to go to Nets, who I have not heard a thing about the Brooklyn Nets since I think November.
Yeah.
Are they playing games?
Ben Simmons isn't. That's for sure.
Ben Simmons is not.
No, they have just been the definition of mediocre. I mean, there's nothing really exciting about what the Nets have going on. And I don't believe they have their first round pick this year. So not really playing for anything.
Tough scene. Then they go to the Magic, the Pelicans do. Go to Magic, go to Heat. I mean, they probably won't win
both of those.
of those.
Yeah.
And then they go to Pistons. They host Thunder. This is good. Here we go. Here's some good news.
Okay.
At the end of March, the Pelicans host Thunder, host Bucks, host Celtics, host Suns, host Magic.
Okay.
That's a nice stretch.
Okay.
That's a nice stretch.
Kings got to take advantage of that a little bit here. And that's also when the Kings will be playing the Mavericks too. So we're getting towards it, man. Yeah. Yesterday was the 1 month mark out from the end of the season. These are where the standings every day are going to fluctuate. And not that it already hasn't been, but this is where things can start to get solidified. You can create some space here. And, it's all about how you're playing down the stretch is what matters. And it's going to be big for the Kings if, with the Knicks game being their only game this weekend, if they win, there's a chance that they could be a lot closer to the 5 seed, if not even in the 5 seed by the end of the weekend. So it kind of adds, not that the Kings are going to focus on that level of pressure, but does add from the outside a little bit of extra pressure to that game. Hopefully they can take care of business.
Looking at tomorrow, you have obviously the Knicks at Kings, Warriors at Lakers.
Yeah,
I think Steph will be back.
I think that's the date that they were targeting. Who knows if if that'll actually come to fruition? But we know that Steph loves to play against the Lakers, and that's one of those games that counts as two, because if you're the Lakers and Warriors, you do kind of start considering, do we want that play-in game? Yeah. Even if it is going to be 9-10, we would rather have that at home than on the road, right?
Right. And then, not that they're right there, but I'm really just paying attention to these games to see how these lower teams are playing. Thunder at Grizzlies. I'm interested to see how the Grizzlies hold up against the Thunder, and Timberwolves at Jazz. Getting to Sunday. Here's the Suns again. Do you almost feel bad for them? Suns at Bucks.
No, I don't.
Suns at Bucks on Sunday. Nuggets at Mavericks. Go Nuggies.
That's a good one.
In that position. Yep. Celtics at Wizards. That's whatever. Hawks at Clippers.
Yeah.
And the Hawks are just not good because Trae Young is he done for the season?
I haven't seen it because I know he had the surgery. Yeah, and I think if I had to imagine, he's probably going to sit out the rest of the season. They're not playing for anything, and I guess in today's NBA, it's like if you're not playing for anything, you might as well worsen your strengthen your lottery odds. So what is Atlanta playing for at this point? I really don't know. It would do them a lot better to lose as many games as possible and try and get a second star in there with Trae, because they're just a bunch of pieces right now.
Yeah. What's compelling about the Suns is that with Bradley Beal, I was listening to the broadcast yesterday with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. As we would expect, they have the highest offensive rating in the league when those three play. Now, the defensive rating is something else, and they keep having these fourth quarter. It wasn't a fourth quarter collapse yesterday. I don't think they really made much after halftime. It's just they just have no identity. You talk about identity, because you can score the basketball. It's almost like street ball.
It is.
It's just street ball.
Yeah. It's a collection of players that it feels like, they handpicked.
Your turn to go. It's exactly what Kevin Durant, after leaving the Warriors, has not been able to find a team to where his skill set just adds to it.
Yeah.
Right? You could have made the argument that adding Kevin Durant to that Nets team and not blowing it up maybe would have made more sense. I don't know about a title contender, but he keeps finding himself on these teams with a bunch of one-on-one or 1v1 players, and there's no system.
He is the system.
He is the system.
Yeah.
But then Devin Booker's
also.
But then Devin Booker's the system. And then Bradley Beal just kind of does his thing.
Yeah. They don't have a point guard either.
No, but people are saying Devin Booker's good enough, and he's not. I mean, as a point guard, he hasn't been.
Absolutely not. No, I mean, it's not in his game. He's looking to get his, and you know, it's a little bit of my turn, his turn, his turn, his turn, my turn. And yeah, they also, because they're paying Bradley Beal an ungodly amount of money, which I still feel like isn't talked about enough. They don't have a bench. They have nobody. So in a playoff game, you need Bradley Beal, KD, and Booker to combine for what? 70, 80 points even to have a shot, because you might get 15 out of Grayson Allen. Maybe you get, 10 out of Nurkic. And then it's like Bol. Did you watch that game? He is getting real minutes.
Yeah.
He's getting real rotational minutes. And Bol, he's fun. He's kind of like a bit of a circus. Like, it's more of, you watch him for the spectacle of it, not necessarily for, what he actually is as a player. I just don't think they have the overall depth to get it done. So no, I'm not really concerned about the Suns in the long run.
You never have been.
I really haven't. I mean, I just didn't think it felt like they just rushed to put the team together, and they were just, hey, we're going to get a bunch of stars and it's going to work out. And I think that we've seen, and then Frank Vogel doesn't really make sense as their coach. Frank Vogel's a defensive minded guy.
That's what they've been saying.
And it's like, that's definitely not the Suns' identity. Defense is almost the complete. It's almost, you can maybe argue it's like Mike Brown, where it's, you're hiring the guy for what you want him to teach your team, not necessarily leaning into what you're good at. But I mean, again, the Suns don't really have any, they don't really run anything particular. They don't have a style of play. So I don't really get what any of it is. It's all just a collection of things that they put together.
It's like the land of the most expensive, misfit toys you've possibly ever seen.
1,000%.
It's like the rich kid who has his parents buy him a bunch of stuff that he doesn't really want, but it's really cool.
And it's really expensive.
Really
expensive.
Yes, but he doesn't really know whether he likes it or not. When we return, Kenny, getting back to that TNT broadcast that went off the rails yesterday, Kenny makes Shaq uncomfortable talking about something that may have happened back in the day when Shaq was playing the Kings. Also, we give Chris some time to talk Vikings. Stiles and Watkins,
awesome.
Sactown Sports.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Inside the lane, step back, 17. Forgot it, nothing but net for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
I was out last Friday, but I am back, which means that shout-outs and closeouts are back. We will close out any thoughts that we may have had throughout the week and didn't get a chance to. And also, shout outs. Your shout outs. Their shout outs. My shout outs. Chris's shout outs. Nate's shout outs. Nate's shouting out corned beef and cabbage, most likely. Line up your shout outs, 916-339-1140. That's at 1:45. We will do dog segment and shout outs and closeouts at 1:45. Text line as well, Sac Chat as well. If you want to shout out, where are we at in the high school? High school basketball's over, so it's because it's baseball.
100% over.
Is it not over?
I think it is. My friends are coaches. I'm pretty sure. Because didn't your team just compete in the championship? What was that last month? I think it's over.
Or close.
I think it's close to being over. I think they're still wrapping up like the final.
Yeah.
Like, open division.
Shout out your
I could be wrong.
High school basketball team. You got a son, a daughter on the team. You got a nephew, a niece, a cousin. Shout out your dog. Shout out your cat. Shout out your pet bird. Anybody,
Lizard.
anything. Lizard. I had
sure.
a pet salamander named Sally.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a real original.
That's awesome.
Well, I was a child. Shout out anybody that you want to shout out at 1:45. Line up the calls, make Nate earn his paycheck, and we will get to all of them. We'll get some good music going. That's right.
Please.
Did you have something, Nate, before we
I was just going to say, my brother, when we used to share a room, his kids had a hamster that would chew on the cage all night. That was annoying, but it would break out and hide in the couch for days at a time.
the hamster?
Yes. It had a hole in the back of the couch. It would just get out and be gone.
See, man.
And we just know it's in the couch.
Dude, that's what I can't do about.
I don't pet shame, but I don't get that one.
I don't get people. Well, I hear the same
rodents.
stories with people who have pet snakes, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the snake got out of its cage."
Right.
I don't know. Like sometimes we find it behind the couch, sometimes it's in the TV. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just had a loose snake in your house for the past 4 days, and you invited me over?
Bro, have you seen my kimono dragon?
Yeah.
My friend,
I haven't seen my kimono dragon.
Die Hard. He has a whole room dedicated. He's a bachelor single dude. He has a two bedroom house.
Yeah.
One room is just dedicated to his computer and his giant bearded dragon.
Does he have that thing where it like vapes into it?
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's got everything. He built this whole enclosure. He has a live stream of it. When we were in Chico the other weekend, he's like, look, check him out.
He like pulls out his phone.
Literally, yes.
So cute.
He's sleeping right now.
There you go. So get in your shout outs if you want to shout out your pet snake, you want to shout out your pet hamster, you want to shout out somebody that made an outstanding latte for you.
Sure.
Go ahead and do it. Your significant other, of course, your kids, of course.
But that's boring.
That is at 1:45. Don't listen to Nate. As we hear from Kenny and this whole situation that's been going on with TNT, not that it's a situation, it was just a very chaotic broadcast yesterday. Maybe I just don't watch them from start to finish that often. Maybe they're always that chaotic.
They are. They go off the rails. There's no such thing as a rundown for them.
Yeah, no rundown to deviate from like we do on this show. Let's hear from Kenny, who makes Shaq a bit uncomfortable discussing refs being paid.
The Rudy Gobert thing, what about it? What did you think about it?
What did he do?
He did that money thing and got fired.
Oh, you got to fire him.
Right. Because you're basically insinuating that refs are getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Shaq. I didn't mean to bring up a whole.
You not agree with that?
No, but you're insinuating that refs are getting paid at the game. I thought he should have got suspended.
Yeah. Oh, stop. Hey, stop it. You're going too far now.
No.
So Luka did that last season.
Yeah.
Luka did that last season. It's not the first time we've seen it happen. And obviously with it being Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers in 2002, we asked the question to the Kings fans out there, with this new team and this new regime and you're finally back in the playoffs, are you over 2002?
No.
Does it still burn?
It's never going to end, right?
No, definitely nobody is over it. The fire might burn a little bit less than maybe what it did like 10 years ago. But, I still think until the Kings get back and maybe until like the Kings beat the Lakers handily in a playoffs, maybe not even handily, just beat them in a playoff series, it's still gonna hang over us, man. Like it's just not something we can get over. It's also just, I I hate to go down the rabbit hole, but I always think like, if the Kings do win that year, there's always all right, well, how does that change how everything does? Does the team stick together?
Free agency.
Do the Kings almost become like I think it's maybe a step too far to say, do they become the Spurs of this generation instead of the Spurs becoming it? That might be a little bit far-fetched, but more so in the small market that makes and ends up being like an actual title contender year over year. Do we have the whole arena fiasco? Do we have the whole sell the team fiasco if the Kings get a championship, which they would have gotten that year? I don't know if you can tell, but no, we're not over it.
I don't think you should be.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be.
I don't think you ever get over it.
No, you can't get over it. I mean, obviously you move forward and you're back in the playoffs, but this is once in a lifetime stuff, man.
Exactly.
And especially a historic team like the Lakers and with Kobe and Shaq, you're never going to be over that. The same way every fan base has something.
Yes.
The problem is other fan bases have other memories that will push it down, and the Kings so far don't have those memories, but they're working on it. Let's hear from Mark, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Mark? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Okay, so you guys there, I cannot let go of 2002.
Yeah.
I cannot let go of 2002. So game 6, I'm not talking about game 7 when we couldn't make free throws and they couldn't call the fouls right. I'm talking about game 6. I grew up in San Jose as a Warriors fan, but I am at Pac Bell with friends watching the Giants game, and a whole pile of us are in the concourse watching the Kings-Lakers game 6, and like it's winding down, and Mike Bibby's chin meets Kobe's elbow, and they
Sorry, buddy.
We'll see you, Mark.
Mark's not over it.
Yeah,
Mark's not over it.
Mark is not over it.
I gotta add something.
Sure.
Friend of the show, friend of the station, Katie Christensen, she said something a long time ago that really resonated with me as a Kings fan.
What's that?
It was that no matter what, if the Kings win a title this year, whenever it was a while ago, she said it could be, even this year, whatever, doesn't matter. I think the Kings fans are still going to think that the 0-2 team is the greatest Kings team ever. Like, there's so much weight behind that team and what they do that it just nothing's going to matter. That team is so sacred to Sacramento.
I think that team won't be forgotten. I will not say that it will not be eclipsed. I don't think you can say that. Like, I mean, I think it's easy maybe to say that when it hasn't happened, but like, I mean, think about how much people love the team that was there last year. Not that it even, remotely touches the feels of those early teams, but I think that you will never forget those teams, but I definitely think there will be a new place in people's hearts if this team wins a championship.
Well, you're almost chasing a ghost, right? Until you win that championship,
exactly.
Because you have the hypothetical. In every Kings fan's mind, hypothetically, that team was going to win the championship.
Yes.
So until that happens, it doesn't matter if a team, let's say the Kings go to the Western Conference Finals, like Jorge Sedano believes that they could.
Yeah.
I think to Nate's point, it would be true there, because if they lose in the Western Conference Finals, that team from 0-2, everybody believes would have won the whole thing.
To cover my track.
Would they have? We'll never know. That's the problem.
Just to cover my tracks too. That wasn't for verbatim what she said.
Okay.
It was being a little vague. It was up that alley though, but it's something that just stuck with me as a fan of the Kings, and just how hoorah we are about the Kings, and specifically that era, that playoff stretch.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
I just don't want to misquote or come off the
No. I hear you. And I think that she's just saying that team, even if we think that a championship will make us forget about those teams, we're definitely not going to forget about them. Absolutely not. I mean, even teams that have success after winning a championship still look back, listen to Celtics fans. They'll go on about the 80s Celtics all day, but they have a championship in 2007. Like they don't, and the players on that 2017 talk about it all the time, but they still have very fond memories of those 80s teams. Absolutely. We'll never forget because there's no way you can make up for it. I think that's what it is. It's this great just missing piece that we're never going to have resolved. And yeah, it's almost like a 2-minute report. Honestly, it's like, that's great that we now know the refs cheated. It's great that everyone acknowledges the Kings probably should have won that series. It's great that everyone says if the Kings win that series, then they probably win a title. But that didn't happen. We didn't get a parade. We didn't get everything that comes with winning a championship. So it's great. Thank you, 2-minute report, for saying that was a foul, but the game's over now and we're not going to play it again. So yeah, I think that it's just always going to be something that we will never forget about, and it's always never going to sit well with us.
I'd love to live in an alternate reality and go to Kings games right now, assuming that the Kings did win that championship in 2002, and just see, when you see all those Laker fans and you see all those Warrior fans and Heat fans, just what it would look like if that 2002 championship did come to fruition. When we return, we discuss the NFL and rounding up the moves that have been made in the NFL. And later, like we said, 1:45, we are doing dog segment and shout outs and closeouts. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. LaPorta's over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right, being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
The 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in Car and Driver Award history. Come drive it. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door. Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockrell, Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Big tech and social media have likely created many millionaires, but are other non-financial effects occurring? According to a study by Credit Karma, 29% of Americans now say they are feeling left behind their peers financially due to social media developing what is known as money dysmorphia. This is more prevalent among younger Americans, with 43% of Gen Z and 41% of millennials feeling the struggle. Surprisingly, many of those who experience this have above average savings. These feelings aren't uncommon, as only 14% of Americans consider themselves wealthy, with more than half of those earning over $100,000 annually saying they live paycheck to paycheck. Between inflation and social media pressure, the confidence and buying power has been reduced. Comparing yourself to your own financial goals and setting attainable checkpoints to monitor success could help alleviate these feelings. Looking back towards your progress versus forward could also bring a sense of satisfaction, allowing you to maintain your discipline, which could likely lead to better personal outcomes. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Get ready for your chance to win a $475 gift card by entering Sactown Sports Bracket Challenge on Monday, March 18th. Sponsored by Xfinity. At home or on the go, you'll get the fastest internet to all your devices.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Expect those winds to ease as we head through late afternoon to early evening. Nice day ahead with highs in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
We are 15 minutes away. Shout outs and closeouts and dog segment. But if you want to be a part of shout outs and closeouts, shout out someone special listening, even if they're not listening. Shout out whoever you would like. Of course, that is appropriate.
Can I shout out that it's freezing in this studio?
It always is.
It's like so cold in here.
It always is. And I don't want to tick anybody off, so I don't press it. And we're too close now to the end that I'm not going to put my jacket back on.
That's
so
the exact thought I just had.
No, don't touch it, Nate. I'm scared.
Just leave it. It's
I'm
fine.
I'm scared.
It's fine.
I'm also scared that this Kirk Chains thing, we're gonna do a little hybrid fair or foul. Okay. I just got two off the top of my head.
Okay.
And the first one is just exactly what I said. So what was that? Was that last season when they were on the plane and a bunch of other players put their chains on Kirk Cousins? Was that last season?
That was I want to say that was 2 seasons ago.
Okay. So this whole thing started. They're calling him Kirko Chains. And we get the bit because it's Kirk Cousins and he's not that guy.
That's right.
So Atlanta, the Falcons have fully taken this bit to another level.
Yeah.
And he did a whole photo shoot with a bunch of Dirty Bird chains. Okay. They've also made a cartoon out of Kirk Cousins. He's also done a commercial promo. And it says, I wake up dripped like this or something like that.
Okay.
And people are saying, all right, enough now.
Yeah.
It's enough now.
Yeah, we get it. It's enough. I mean, I think, and it is, I mean, I get that it kind of became a Kirk thing, but it was like initially a Vikings thing. Like, I mean, it's not just the fact that he was on the Vikings. It was some players on the team gave Kirk their chains because they knew it would look so crazy. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's just strange. The whole thing is like, look how fun. It's a little Russell Wilson-y.
It's getting there, but it's okay.
Like, look how cute this is because it's so counter. Not that this is Russ's thing exactly, but like more in the cringe level. It's just, look how funny this is because this is so not him.
There was something else that started as a joke and then turned into a thing. And I'm trying to remember what it was. I know they had Adam Schefter kind of replicate it, which I thought was awful.
Yeah.
And that was terrible. But yeah, it's enough is enough. And I'm telling you, man, there's been at least 5 posts from the Falcons with Kirk in the chains. And it's just a little corny now.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous. Okay. So
yeah, I'm going foul.
Enough is enough. The other one, and I think that we spoke about this, I think off the show with the mics off, and I want to do it here because I'm trying to understand what level of, I guess, celebrity people have to be for us to care. So Brock Purdy got married over the weekend. Bleacher Report, SportsCenter literally took the wedding photos and put them on their accounts, right? They also did the same thing with Sabrina Ionescu. And I think Sabrina Ionescu, at least I believe her husband is in the NHL or the NFL.
He's in the NFL.
He's in the NFL. So I guess two athletes.
Sure.
I don't care to see wedding photos. That's not why I'm on SportsCenter's Instagram to see wedding photos. Yeah. I don't know these people. Okay. I just briefly went through Sabrina's. I didn't see any other WNBA players. Brock Purdy didn't have any other NFL players. What is the line? And I don't know if they're asking, hey, can we use these photos? It's just a little too far for me. It's a very intimate, and I get it. They're celebrities, I guess. And this is a little sports TMZ of SportsCenter and Bleacher Report. It's just not sports news to me.
Yeah, I think I was okay with the pictures because it is just like you could just, as someone who used to like schedule the 1140 Twitters way back, like I get you kind of need to have a certain quota that you hit in terms of posts, and it's pretty harmless to just say, hey, like just as a random factoid, this person got married.
Yeah.
But no, where I'm with you is I saw, and I think it was more of like a Niners aggregator kind of site, or like one of the Niners media personalities posted the video. And for some reason that to me was like a step too far. Like I'm okay with the pictures.
How did you get the video? Number one.
It was, and they did source it, and it was from Brock Purdy's wife's Instagram.
That's weird.
Which is just like, it felt like a step too far where it's, and again, maybe it makes a little more sense because it was like a Niners content creator, and maybe you're figuring, hey, this is something that is for a certain subset of Niner fans that are really, just into the personal lives of these guys. And, if you follow Brock Purdy's wife and nobody else is really seeing that video, maybe you see the value in posting it. But when I saw it, I had pretty much the reaction you had to seeing those pictures.
Who's watching that?
I was
Who's
just
sitting there watching that?
Yeah, like I like it. I tiptoe on, seeing people from my high school post those videos.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I really want to see the ins and outs of Brock Purdy. And I mean, honestly, it was mainly his wife, like going through their wedding day. It's just like you said, like, I don't really know these people. And so it felt a little bit too much, but whatever. That's the 24-hour news cycle for you.
Yeah, just stick to Brock's stats. I mean, it's just a little much for me. And again,
yards per attempt.
This is Elon's Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. Clicks by any means necessary. All right, Chris, we have a couple minutes before we get to our closeouts and shout outs. We already see them coming through on the text line. Keep them rolling on the text line, Sac Chat. And you can call in. And be on the air and give a shout out to whoever, whatever. If there's a restaurant you think Alan and Chris should check out, either separately or together,
there you go.
Let us know. Somewhere that is, hey man, Alan, you were asking about cheesesteaks. You were asking about burgers.
We still haven't gotten a good cheesesteak answer.
We still have not.
Yeah.
We still have not. All right, Chris, you got a couple minutes. Yes. The floor is yours to talk about your Vikings.
Okay, so let's just start the shout-outs early with me shouting out Vikings GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, who has just done a masterful job this offseason. Forget that I told y'all, let's not read too much into this Sam Darnold, $10 million with the Vikings. I knew it wasn't going to be the case by the end of the season. The Vikings this morning trade for the 23rd pick in the draft. Doesn't sound like much, but this now allows the Vikings to have something nobody else can offer in this draft, and that is 2 first-round picks this year to move up to potentially get one of the 3 quarterbacks. We talked about it earlier this week. Sounds like Jaden Daniels is starting to slip higher, or it's not slip, but I guess rise higher and higher. And I guess, he can really only get as high as number 2 here to the Commanders. Seems like the Vikings are going to try and get in there however they can. The Patriots probably want a quarterback. They just traded Mac Jones. They're at the number 3 slot. So I don't quite know which direction the Vikings are going to go in terms of if they are trading trade up. Are they going to move up to number 4? That doesn't seem to make sense. Hey, the Vikings traded with the Lions, 2 years ago for the Lions to trade up to get Jamison Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed, the Bears still have Justin Fields on their roster.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is more just Vikings fan hoping at this point, but would the Chicago Bears maybe be willing to move on from that number 1 pick and pick up 11 and 23 and maybe a first-round pick next year, roll out another year with Justin Fields, and have the Vikings take Caleb Williams? Let's not forget Jordan Addison last year, receiver at USC.
There you have it.
I'm just saying.
There you have it.
Just
I
saying.
mean, that would be nice. That would be
Or
nice.
they can stay at 11 and take J.J. McCarthy, and you can hear me complain all year about how I wasn't excited.
Please make the move.
I really
Please
don't
make
wanna
the
see
move. That. When we get back, we hear from you. Your shout outs and closeouts. If you have a shout out, we see them rolling in now. If you have a shout out, 916-339-1140. We're going to get them good music going. We're going to get you feeling right for Friday, leading up to the drive, guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In 1923, the Field and Flint Company launched what they believed to be the best shoe on the market, using the brand FootJoy for the first time. Their tagline, a shoe that's different. And 100 years later, that tagline could well describe the launch of the latest iteration of the FootJoy Pro SLX Carbon Golf Shoe. Pro SLX offers performance innovation engineered from the ground for advanced traction, control, and comfort. The all-new Power Track system delivers stability and no-slip grip when you swing. A carbon fiber X-Wing distributes the energy to the shoe's perimeter for increased traction and control. And Stratofoam provides all-day comfort. In the end, it's about tradition, it's about performance, and it's about comfort. 100 years ago, this FootJoy Pro SLX Carbon would have seemed a shoe for a spaceman. Today, it's a great shoe for 18 holes right here on Earth. Try a pair at your local pro shop or learn more at footjoy.com. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Right now, Maida Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2024 half-ton Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drives after rebate. It's a Maida Chevy exclusive.
See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/24.
See all the savings at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
It is time for dog segment. Then we are getting into closeouts and shout outs. See a lot on the Sac chat. See a couple on the text line. Don't forget, you can do it live. You can do it live. If you have somebody that you want to shout out, we're going to get the good music going in about 5 minutes or so. So get your calls in. Nate will take care of you. If you want to shout somebody out that you know is listening, heading into the weekend. Still got Drive Guys before that, but heading into the weekend. Let's get it going.
Well, before we start, I hate to interrupt you guys. It's one of my least favorite things to do.
You sure?
I got to ask you a question.
Who let the dogs out?
Didn't know where that was going.
Really? Because I've done that bit like 20 times.
That's true.
But I guess we're just bringing it back now. So,
by the way, for all of you that were looking for some free cheese.
Oh, we did it again.
We did do it again. We are 6-0.
We did it again.
We are 7-0. We are on a heater. Unfortunately, the Kings game is not on the docket yet, so we cannot help you. But if we just kind of assume, right?
You can use our dogs as your game.
Yes, we won't count this against our record.
I've been bricking dogs. Stay away from the dog for me.
Okay. All right. Let's start here. My dog. You're going to need to find offense from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that we know how difficult the kind of that front court is for the Knicks. I'm thinking a guard is going to need to step up, and I really liked what I saw from Keegan Murray last game. He's starting to find that shot, and I'm going to go with Keegan Murray as my dog. He's normally set at, who knows what it'll be, but he's been at about 13.5. Maybe they'll bump him to 14.5, depending on whether or not Kevin Huerter plays. He's been at 15, maybe once or twice. Keegan Murray was 5 for 10 from three-point range. He was putting them up. So a lot of that is based upon whether or not Kevin Huerter plays. But either way, I think Keegan Murray, with the best offensive player for the Knicks being a smaller guard, maybe he'll get a little bit of a breather and Keegan will get to focus on his offense. I'm going Keegan Murray for my dog. Assuming it's set at about 13.5, I would take the over there.
Not afraid of OG?
You think they're going to have him on
Keegan?
Keegan?
If not Keegan, probably Fox. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, it depends how they decide to utilize him.
Now you got me scared.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Just
the way Harrison shot, maybe he'll be on Harrison.
That's right.
Harrison might be a good pick. But I'm going to stick with Keegan.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Is it too easy? I'm going to go De'Aaron. Because he's going against an all-star guard here in Jaylen Brunson. And, I just feel like this is one of those games where Jaylen Brunson's got a lot of hype behind him. Of course, he's, a New York Knicks point guard, and so there's going to come a certain amount of publicity with that. But De'Aaron Fox is a much better player, in my opinion, than Jaylen Brunson.
Much better.
I think so. I think Jaylen Brunson is a great scorer, but I think De'Aaron is the guy that I'm picking 10 times out of 10 over Brunson if I'm starting a team. I think De'Aaron but I would like to see De'Aaron kind of have a moment where he's flexing a bit, man. I want to see De'Aaron take it to Jaylen Brunson, who is a smaller guard. Let's not forget De'Aaron is 6'3", 6'4", and Jaylen Brunson is maybe 6 feet tall. I want to see De'Aaron take it to him.
Okay. There you go, Nate. What you got?
I need a layup. I need something easy when it comes to the dog segment. Like we've talked about, our picks have been amazing. I was really looking forward to making picks, and I just realized as you said it, that we weren't going to be able to do our picks today, so I was a little sad. But short and sweet, Sabonis. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Nobody went Keon Ellis.
No.
I went Keon last game.
Is he
Keon?
Do we think he's starting? Do we think?
Yeah, we don't know.
He's not starting if Kevin Huerter's playing. I can
Yeah,
tell you that
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Herderer. Yeah, Herderer is not playing.
All right. Okay, we got him. And
Yep.
let's see here. Manny Too Legit. He has De'Aaron as his dog. We have Curtis Hicks saying Davion is my dog.
Good
All
one.
right, Nate. We got the dog. Now it's time for shout-outs and closeouts. Get that good music going. 916-339-1140. Still a couple minutes if you want to give a shout-out over the air. Also, you can use the text line as well to shout out whoever you would like. Okay. Somebody's going to sample this soon. That'd be a good one.
Dang, it's already like 12 years old, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't it like 2012 the song came out?
Oh my gosh, Nate, don't say that. No. It was not 2012. I was working at the hip hop station. We were still at Arco. I can say that. I'd probably say the song came out in 15 or 16.
That's long enough to reset.
No, it is. I was shocked at how long it was when I actually thought about it.
All right. I'm going to give a shout out. I haven't actually done this yet.
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nailed it.
We're going on 9 years.
Pushing on 10.
Yeah, pushing on 10. I'm going to go obvious here. I have not done this. I'm going to do the cop out, but it's for good reason. Shout out to the Fam Bam. Shout out to Wifey and Baby Girl. Look, we've taken a lot of lumps these last couple days with the baby race. I just want you to know I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you no matter what. Yeah, the lights were a little bright, but we will be back better than ever. You're worried about walking now. You're not worried about crawling.
Leave that in the past.
Crawling is beneath you, baby girl. You are fine, and I am very lucky to have you and your mom. And shout out to her mom, Wifey, for letting me go on the little boys trip last weekend. It was a great time, and shout out to my guys that were out there. That's my shout out for today. Chris?
First off, shout out Brendan Nunez. He puts out here from Kings practice earlier. Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray were full participants in today's practice.
Good.
Sasha Vezenkov and Trey Lyles did not participate.
That
so
knee, man.
That's going to be interesting to kind of follow there. My shout out is going to go to, let's see, well, You guys were talking about earlier, you guys' situations. Alan's got to figure out the seating situation.
Yeah.
Nate's got to go to a party.
I shouldn't have brought that up, man.
Today, I'm going to throw I'm going to a play tonight. I'm not really like a theater guy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
What,
really
it's safe or whatever?
clock me for enjoying the theater. But
What is it?
I honestly have no idea. My girlfriend is a bartender at B Street Theater downtown.
Nice.
And so she gets tickets to a couple shows. She's heard that this is a good show. Gonna hit the town. Gonna go to.
Chris is really outside this weekend. I love it.
I'd say just go with an open mind.
I think we're going
It's
to
one of
Pear
those
Gary's as well, so I'm excited to try that out. That's kind of a bit of a Sacramento staple. Haven't been there. Hear great things. So yeah, shout out touching grass.
There you go.
Touch
shout
grass,
out the weather.
bro.
Shout out the weather. Nate?
I'm going for friends this time. A lot of time it's family or Kayla.
Right.
I'm going to go with my friend and his wife. Ryan and Naeli are the names. They just bought a house. They're just getting moved in.
Yeah.
So big shout out to them.
Money
kind
bags.
of a big deal. And then one of my best friends and his little brother's my friend too, just shipped out to the military this week.
Shout out.
I just know that's crazy. So
Yes.
shout out to the Basterna boys.
Yes, shout out to the military. Thank you for your service. Here you go on the text line, the 209. Shout out my son Ben, kicking off his very first soccer season this weekend. Go Maroon team, and also for not having a total meltdown getting his haircut. Love you, kid.
That's
Nick
awesome.
In
Dude, I used to
Lodi.
be the worst when I was a kid getting a haircut.
Really?
Every time by
I
the
remember.
ears. It was
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I'm like,
From Dwayne Baker, shout out to Kevin Herter. Nobody has faced more criticism this season on the Kings, but you keep working hard on the court
there you go.
and don't let it get to you. There you go.
All right.
Arthur Smith, shout out to Jim Harbaugh
Sure.
for getting rid of those good but not great players and setting up an identity for the Chargers. Arthur Smith, now we know he is a Chargers
There you
fan.
go.
Manny Too Legit, shout out to Golden One Center for bringing in back-to-back beams that hits very different against these two last teams. Now, if you don't like that, you don't like Kings basketball. What else do we have here? Brian Cardicelli, shout out to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you, Brian. Arthur Smith, this afternoon show gets more than a shout out. It gets a standing Sacramento clap. Bet that. And with that, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend. But first, on your drive home, check out the Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you for all the callers. Nate Littlefield, thank you for doing your thing as always. Stiles and Watkins. Until Monday, secure the bag, light the Knicks beam.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your